Got some sad news. Carmelo Anthony has been found guilty of the M word. And it's been a sad, devastating day, you guys. It's been terrible, terrible. Like, I can't believe that they gave him that because I would have thought that they would have gave him manslaughter. Like they were saying, y'all come in the building, smash the like button, let me know how y'all are doing today. Today it's been an intense day, so if y'all come in the building, smash the like button, just be respectful. I like people to have a voice, but be respectful. I don't want no name calling, no acting a fool, no acting a donkey up in here, y'all. This is a serious situation. It's a lot going on. Come in the building, smash the like button, y'all. Welcome here to the lounge. We are going to go over a couple of videos, and I'm just going to give my own opinion on how I feel. Now, there is, white America who believes in doing what's right. Then you have the white America that believes in trying to screw black people over. So, my encounters is with the white America that is trying to do the right thing. We love everybody here at the lounge. And uh, over here at the lounge, I, expect for everybody to have a voice, but just be respectful. But there was a lawyer that was on court TV, and he is hotter than fish grease. Yes, he is upset. Hey, love it myself. Hey, Nita, how are y'all? Welcome in the building. Y'all, this is sad. This is a sad day. But this lawyer, he was upset at the judge, and this is a white lawyer. It's like I said, it's kind of like two type of white. Hey, Anonymous, how you doing, bro? What's going on? Welcome. Anonymous says, hey, sister, be respectful. I'll send them to the block party. You already know, bro. Anonymous, you already know. All of my mods love myself. Everybody, y'all, yes, exactly. Love myself says, I know. Yes. Um, so y'all, it's a sad day, but like I said, there's a part, white people, because we love everybody here at the lounge. There's a white America, like I said, that is for the right thing. Then there's a white America that is trying to like screw, people over at all other nationalities. But this lawyer, he's going off on the judge, and he is saying that, basically, why didn't they have a juror of his peers, like any other black people on the jury? And he was saying a whole bunch of other stuff. He was going off on this judge. But y'all, we are going to get into it. This is earlier footage from Frisco, and they did say Frisco. I've never heard of Frisco before, but they said Frisco is a sundown town. They're prejudiced, like they're racist or whatever. So people who go there, that is other than, the people like white that are not in that in crowd, the with the white people that are like trying to screw other nationalities over, because there's good, let me say, there's good people in everybody, and it doesn't matter what nationality you are, what you are. If you're a good person, you're just a good person, point period, point blank period. But they're saying that this attorney, y'all got to hear it. Hey, Bronze, how are you? Y'all got to hear what this attorney is saying. When I say he went off on the judge, he is hotter than fish grease. But welcome in. Hey, TY, welcome. So y'all, we're gonna listen to it. So now this video that I'm playing, it is people over there, in front of the courthouse. They got a little bit of stuff going on, but wait until y'all hear what this lawyer has to say. But y'all, let's get into it. Happy Tuesday. I hope y'all having a wonderful day. Be respectful, because my mods, Anonymous, Bronze, Loving Myself, TY, they will send you to the block party wherever you may lay or wherever you may slay, baby. So let's get into it. Let's see what this video entails of earlier at the courthouse. So let's turn it around and let's get to it. Justice. We want justice. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Hey, Big Bag Bull, how are you? And see, I love it when everybody comes together. You see, I mean, she's saying Austin say his name, but they're right there all together, no matter what, what side you're going for, Austin Metcalf or Carmelo, but they're both children. It's sad that this situation ensued. I don't believe in nobody taking nobody else's life, but at the same time, sometimes, well, not sometimes, when we have racial situations like this, it could have been like a worse situation. But for the most part, I think that most people was acting, decent, because you see they're mingling. Her sign says, Austin, say his name. People are saying Carmelo, say his name. So y'all, so let's continue.
I can only imagine what it would have done to the jurors. Yeah, there were no cameras involved, but our Cody Thomas was able to bring the courtroom to.
Okay, here is where, let me turn the camera. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. I see people are being disrespectful. Mods, y'all already know how to take care of the trolls. Thank y'all so much, and thank everybody in the building for coming. This is where the lawyer is kind of about to start talking about, like he crashed out. He said, I mean, he was calling the judge like dumb, stupid, and all kind, like, I'm just kind of paraphrasing, but y'all hear it. He was upset because it wasn't fair that they didn't have a juror of his peer. They didn't have no cameras. And this lawyer is like going off on the judge, which I don't blame him. These kids are no longer 18. I mean, no longer underage. They're of age now, right? Carmelo is 18. It happened when they were 17. But these people, I mean, people are upset, y'all. People on both sides. On both sides, people are upset. But people are upset that Carmelo didn't get a fair trial. But let's continue. Let's turn it around and let's continue listening and see what this lawyer is about to say.
During the trial with his defense, he is making his way, of course, into the courtroom, and he'll be giving us the color of the courtroom. We'll be getting it and passing it along to you, and then eventually, when the verdict is read, which we do believe will be very soon, we will pass that along to you in real time. So let's get a break now, and when we come back, our continuing coverage of the breaking news. There is a verdict in the case against Carmelo Anthony. Back with that verdict right after this.
Hey, my baby Jamil Peterson, Mr. I Am Comedy. Welcome in the building, baby. Y'all, let's continue. Hold up real quick. Let's continue. Hey, y'all, Lynn, welcome. Anonymous. And see, y'all, they're playing music. They're just, yelling for whoever they, Carmelo for Austin. But, some people did cut up. But y'all, let's continue listening. Okay, babe, let me turn it up. Oh, let me get closer to the TV, y'all. Hold on, let me pull it closer. I don't know. Maybe that might be a little better. Hold on, y'all. I don't know why it sounds muffled. I don't know why, but hold on real quick, you guys. Hold on just a second. Let me turn this off and then let me get a little closer because it may be, I don't know, but I know YouTube does this thing where they be trying to like muffle people, but all right, let's continue. Tell me how it sounds. Do you? No. Your phone is not on Bluetooth? It's off. All right, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it's off. Right. Yeah. That does that too. Yeah, that's why I turned it off. Okay, let's see. Can you guys hear? Put a one in the chat if you guys can hear. That's what yours was doing too. Hold on. No, 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 no. I'm saying when I listen to you. Don't worry about it. Go watch it. Hold on. Hey, D-Dot, where you been? We ain't seen you in a month of Sundays, D-Dot. Where you been? You been MIA. Hold on. All my moms, we finally found D-Dot, y'all. D-Dot is in the building. But let me see if hold on, let me back it up. I don't know why the volume is acting crazy, y'all. But let me try it again and y'all let me know if it is okay. That's weird. That's weird. Okay, hold on. Let me try it again, y'all. Can y'all hear it? Put a one in the chat if it sounds like clear, but or say yes or no. Put a yes in there or no if y'all can hear it clear. Red suit. Parties are gathering in the courtroom. The jury was out just under 3 hours before coming to a unanimous decision. They had two choices on the. We can hear him. You can hear him. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Maybe it's the crowd. Maybe because yeah. Okay. Okay. Maybe it's the crowd, you guys. Okay. Let's listen and see what he says. In McKinney, Texas, emotions are running high. This has been a case that's been very. Okay, see, they have a little altercation right there. Okay, see, they was cutting up a little bit right there on both sides. On both sides, I give it to them right. I report what I see, and they both cut up. They both like they in a little face to face squaddle. But let's continue. Let's continue. Actually, see a standoff here, one of many that we've seen play out during this case. Undoubtedly, whichever way this goes, this will be a chaotic scene outside of this courtroom or courthouse. Police presence has been very intense, according to our Cody Thomas, who is making his way inside the courthouse, who is sending out live notes once he gets into his place. The rules that have been set by the judge are very stringent. So getting in and getting out is a process as we continue to watch the just emotional, just a horrible scenario outside. Two people with different views of what they believe happened here going face to face. Carmelo Anthony, of course, admits that he stabbed Austin Metcalf at a track meet last year after the two came face to face under a tent during a rainstorm at the track when it was raining. And since then,
This has been the just the face of it. What we're seeing outside that courtroom has been slow burning for the last year. These were two young men whose lives were changed forever. Carmelo Anthony immediately admitted that he stabbed Austin Metcalf. He even asked, "How is he?"
And now let me say this to you guys. Let me say this. So the situation was, if you guys don't know, I think everybody pretty much knows, there was an altercation with Austin Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo was in their tent. Austin and his twin or whoever told him they couldn't be there, whatever, whatever. So an altercation ensued. And the fact of the matter is, what I don't like, gotta keep your hands to yourself, right? Is that Austin pushed Carmelo first. So he pushed him. So that what started the physical altercation. And then they said they surrounded him like a rap cipher. It was four boys on with Carmelo by himself. And there is claims that Secret Service Sam, shout out to Queen Amadea Shakur. She has Secret Service Sam, who's another YouTuber, and she talked to the guy that actually seen the video, and he has a receipt from when he went to go see the video. Secret Service Sam said he had the receipt where, I guess, when you go watch the video last year, you can get like you, I guess, do the paperwork, and then I guess email verification, I guess, and they sent him an email verification, I guess, stating that he's seen the video. So I don't believe for one moment that he is lying about seeing the video. And why did the judge allow them to play a blurry video in the courtroom? I don't know, but they said it's like about 15 people that seen the clear video. And these people said that what happened is all four boys jumped Carmelo Anthony. And these are sources that they say that they have verification. They took a PI. One of the ladies said she took a PI up there to watch the video, and she has verification as well. So I do believe that. I do believe that. That's just me though. But y'all, let's turn it around and let's continue.
Immediately, he seemed concerned after the stabbing. Now it's up to this jury. Not only will the jury decide guilt and innocence, but this same jury, if they find him guilty of the one of the two top charges, they will decide, if the defense wants them to, that's Texas law, about the penalty. And if it's murder, that penalty could be anywhere from 5 to life in prison, 5 to 99 years. Of course, manslaughter carries a much lower potential penalty. Michael Jafer is watching along with us. He is a national trial attorney. And Michael, we've been.
Okay, this is a trial attorney, you guys. Just get ready. He's about to snap out. He's about to crash out on this judge. He is really, really upset, which I'm feeling some type of way too, because I think everybody should have a fair trial. Even Diddy. And Diddy ain't, ain't saying he's an angel. But even with Diddy, I feel like everybody should have a trial, a fair trial, no matter what your race is. Fair is fair, and rules should apply to everybody, not just selectively. But let's listen, because he's about to crash out on this judge, and I agree with him 1000%.
Watching this case unfold through the eyes of Cody Thomas, and I'll cut you off. My apologies if we get word from Cody on either the what's going on in the courtroom, of course, if there's a verdict. Um, so, first of all, your take on solo truth.
I'm back, y'all.
Your thoughts.
I mean, this is tragic to see the scene outside of the courtroom. It just breaks my heart. Right at the end of the day, it seems like it's torn a community, and it's very sad. At the end of the day, look. It really comes down to the concept of proportionality, right? You brought a knife to a fight that did not involve a knife. But at the end of the day, is that justified? It could be justified. There are instances where it is justifiable to, force to use a knife to defend yourself against someone who doesn't have a knife. A, you don't know if they have a knife. B, you don't know, even without a knife, if they could kill you. C, you don't know if they're trying to kill you with or without a knife. But at the end of the day, and from to the other side of the prosecution, you caused the death of another person who was unarmed. right? The worst case scenario that person could have given you, according to the prosecution, was just beating you or hitting you or bruising you. But other people can say, and I remember specific cases where a group of kids at a high school punched another kid, and this was an actual case, and the kid died because his head hit the wall after he got punched and fell and hit his head on a brick and then died. So somebody could say, "Hey, I was in fear for my life. I used a knife. I pulled up the knife. I didn't use it, and they kept coming at me." So, like, I'm just saying in general, because you don't really know what happened. You have testimony on both sides, and the question then becomes, is there reasonable doubt? Look, if there's a robot looking at this case, if the jury was comprised of robots, I think there's reasonable doubt as to whether or not he committed manslaughter or murder. I think if a robot was on the jury, but man, these jurors are human beings. They live in that community. This case has gripped that community. That's why I'm riveted to see what the jury, like, honestly, I don't care if I spend till midnight to find out. I'm going to watch and see what this jury verdict is, because it could also inflame that community if they come back guilty on that. If they come back guilty on murder, I mean, I think this community is just gonna. It's like a powder cake at this point. It's just gonna evaporate. So we'll see what happens. But that's my analysis on the law.
Again, these are live pictures outside of the courthouse in McKinney, Texas, where inside the parties have gathered because a verdict has been reached.
Okay, so let me turn it around and let me hold on. Let me spin this up real quick. But this same attorney, he let me see if it's this right here. Let me see if he's talking. Hold on, let's see what he says.
Very, very.
Hold on real quick, you guys. But a lot of people are shocked. A lot of people are upset. Some people, of course, on the other side, Austin, and his family, some people feel like, they're glad that they came out with a guilty verdict, because remember they were saying it may be that they'd be able to dumb it down to the charges, like bring them down to manslaughter, and that wasn't even like the case. I mean, that's what we were hoping for most of all, but that didn't happen. So let's wait for this commercial to kick through. But y'all, it's sad all the way around, no matter how you look at it. But y'all, let's continue.
Very small. I'm talking about that city. I'm talking about the community of defense attorneys and judges. We all know each other. We all respect one another. So it depends on both the verdict and the judge. So first of all, it's a non-starter for me to let the jury decide the punishment if they come back on the top charge. I don't want that jury anywhere near it, because I have no idea what happened in that room and which leader was able to impress upon the other people. Clearly, I lost.
Oh, Anonymous says, Oliver, a better attorney and stronger backbone. Oh, okay. So you're aware of this one. Anonymous, do y'all know this attorney? I've never seen him before, so I don't know of him at all. I just seen this. Let me turn the camera. I just seen him when he was talking earlier, but he kind of goes off. Hold on real quick, because he kind of goes off. Hold on, let's see.
Thing becomes inflamed. It's very sad. At the end of the day, none of us know more.
Maybe it's hold on, I should have been better prepared, but whenever they were reading the accounts, it was sad. It was really, really sad. Okay, let me see. Okay, I think it's right here. Okay, let's play it.
Foreign pocket knife and stabbed the young 17-year-old to death. Along with us, Michael Schaefer and Sonny Slaughter. We've all watched this trial play out through the eyes of Cody Thomas. And again, if I cut you off, it's because we're getting some transmissions from Cody. But Sonny, to you first here as we await this verdict. There are three basic scenarios. You've got guilty of murder, the top charge, which carries with it a potential life sentence. Next is manslaughter. Put on the table today through the defense. The judge granted that. And then, of course, the third option, not guilty. How important is it for that jury and for the defense to have manslaughter on the verdict form?
I think it's really important because I do not feel like Carmelo Anthony had the initial intent or the intent to murder. Um, I think it was reactionary. I think all of them should have calmed down. They didn't. And I just think, I don't think it was an intentional homicide, but I don't see this as a not guilty verdict at all because someone is dead, Austin is deceased, and that is a criminal act. So manslaughter is the best that they can hope for, and with a lower sentencing, but I do not see Carmelo walking out of court today as a free young man.
Michael, do you agree that's a long shot?
I disagree with Sonny on this one. I think that there's a good chance he's going to be acquitted because here's why. There's only one the testimony that I've seen is that there's only he stabbed him one time. He didn't stab him multiple times. I do agree that he shouldn't have done it, and I do agree that it was maybe disproportionate. But there's a good chance that this jury's going to come back not guilty because they came back so. If this deliberation was 3 days, 4 days, I think I would tend to agree that probably they'll come back with manslaughter. But coming back in 3 hours, man, I can't imagine them coming back in 3 hours and finding him guilty. I feel like they're going to come back and find him not guilty. It's just I question the 3 hours. I just question that. So I think there's a good chance of that. But look, could it be that they came back in 3 hours with manslaughter and manslaughter was
got to cut you off. They are back on the record, according to our Cody Thomas inside the courtroom. The jury is heading into the courtroom.
Okay, and this is where they found out that he was found guilty. So, y'all, let's listen to their reaction.
Tension is clearly high in here, not verbal, but you can feel it. That is our Cody Thomas sending notes to us because, again, if you're just joining us, there are no cameras allowed in this case, but it has been watched by people across the country and specifically for those.
Hey, nephew, Drake Stash, Mustache, welcome, welcome. It's me, welcome.
So we'll wait with bated breath until Cody types again. But the scene has been set. The jury has been called for. We do know what comes next. Guilty of murder. This is Cody Thomas. The verdict is guilty. Guilty of murder, the top charge against Carmelo. So,
No.
yeah, wow. Indeed. We'll watch the crowd outside. They will start to get this information momentarily. And if we could keep that camera up on the outside there, because it'll just be a matter of seconds before this crowd reacts.
Do you see the keep on saying, wow, wow? Everybody is shocked, y'all. Let's continue.
Again, if you're just joining us, Carmelo Anthony has been found guilty of murder, the top charge in this case after just 3 hours of deliberation. Sunny, but besides wow, which a lot of us are feeling, thoughts.
I was not expecting the top charge. I really was thinking that they would see manslaughter, still guilty, but manslaughter, uh, different sentencing, but guilty of murder. So, it's going to be.
Wow.
I hope everyone just does not feel like it seems like I'm going to have a problem there.
Yeah,
This is dumb.
you can see the
No.
Yeah.
What is Bill Michael?
Yeah, this yeah, I'm sorry. This is just dumb. This is stupid. I can't believe that this.
See, this attorney, y'all, I'm telling you, he's about to go in and listen to what he says. I gotta agree with him. Let's listen to what he says.
3 hours with guilty. I'm totally stunned. On top of that, this judge as well, not letting cameras in the courtroom. I mean, good job, Your Honor. Really, really, really good job. You handled it really, really well. You have this community that's about to get lit on fire. You don't allow cameras to go into a courtroom. The community already believes that this kid is being railroaded. And look at what happened. Your jury came back within 3 hours for a guilty verdict for a kid who used a 4-inch knife one time, didn't use it multiple times. again. Was it wrong? Yes. But was it murder like beyond a reasonable doubt? No. And was it murder beyond a reasonable doubt within 3 hours? Absolutely not. This is insane. This is dumb.
Cody Thomas saying that there are tears on Carmelo's side of the courtroom, and they're going into the penalty phase immediately. So no one is leaving the courtroom. They're going to now go into the penalty phase. There's a huge, Carmelo Anthony is a young man. He is now 19, and the sentencing for the top charge. A lot of states you're found guilty of murder, you're going away. Sometimes for life without, or at least 25 to life before you're out. Texas is different. The range of sentencing here is 5 years to life in prison. So the decision making now, and we'll wait till Cody updates us whether.
And now, you guys, let me turn the camera. Now they are right now they are like trying to figure out what his sentence is going to be. I haven't got any intel from any sources yet that says they have been ready for the sentencing, because they're doing everything today. So they're trying to get I guess the sentencing like lined up, because they've already put him into custody from what I understand. So they're trying to see just how many years they're going to give him. I pray that they give him the minimum. I pray they give him the minimum. But y'all, let's continue.
Jury's going to stay and do the sentencing, or if it'll be the judge. Boy, if I'm the defense, I'm getting that jury as far away from this courthouse as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%, 1000%. I'm not letting this jury touch. I mean, I'm questioning the jury. I asked them, how did you reach your verdict? How did you reach it so quickly? What happened? He was a 4-inch knife. He used it one time. He was pushed. I'm not saying that it was right, but what are you doing? How?
And see, I agree with the attorney too. We all teach our kids to keep your hands to yourself. If a child gets over himself or herself and slaps somebody, best believe there's going to be some kind of you give something, you're going to get it back, right? And Carmelo, he was pushed by Austin Metcalf, and nobody knows how they're ever going to react when they're in a situation like this. Let's be for real, let's be honest. If you are in a situation, you got four big people, whether you're a guy or a girl, four girls surrounded you like a rap cipher, what are you going to do? If you have a knife in your pocket, in your book bag, in your purse, that knife, for most people, is not a knife that you carry in your pocket, your book bag, your purse to unalive somebody. No, you may carry it to, cut some fruit up. Maybe, for the guy, for Carmelo, maybe he used it for, like, them kids, they tape their cleats. Some of them put tape all on their socks and all kind of crazy stuff. Y'all know kids be doing some crazy stuff, right? So therefore, you don't never know how you're gonna react when you are in a situation. So people that say, well, he shouldn't have did this, he shouldn't have did that, I'ma say Carmelo Anthony, he was provoked by Austin. And what he did wasn't intentional, as far as, oh, I'm gonna take this knife and I'm gonna go and unalive me a somebody today. No, he had it on him, and that he felt in that moment, in that instance, he felt like, okay, I feel like I maybe need to grab this knife and, use it as a weapon. And it happened to be that Austin lost his life, and it's sad because I don't wish death upon anybody, no matter who you are, what race you are. It doesn't matter. But this boy provoked Carmelo and pushed him first. So people have to realize, just like this lawyer said, he pushed Austin pushed Carmelo first. Keep your hands to yourself. But let's continue.
Did you get this verdict? I want to know. My whole identity as a defense attorney would be questioned, right? I'm questioning my identity right now, and I have nothing to do with this case. How could you come back like that? I would be enraged. I'm enraged right now. This is very upsetting. And then on top of it, to compound it, this dumb judge didn't allow cameras in the courtroom.
Did y'all hear what he said? Y'all, he called the judge dumb. He called the judge. Did y'all hold on? We gotta wrap that back. He is snapping like a bucket of crabs. My baby says, I hope he doesn't get more than 2 years. I hope so too. Thank you, baby, for that super chat. Thank you, Jamil Peterson, Mr. I Am Comedy. I hope he don't get number 2 years too. Because when you are provoked, you don't know what you're gonna do in the moment. Like I said, you may have this remote control in your pocket, and somebody's coming up and trying to surround you like a rap cipher and slap you or try to beat you up with like four big people. You don't know what you're gonna do. You could have used your he could have used his backpack. Whatever you have that you think that's gonna help you fight. If you feel like your life is in danger, you feel scared, you don't know what's going on, and then you're just reacting. Just because you're reacting, you don't know. So people can miss me with, oh, well, he shouldn't have, blah, blah. Well, really and truly, Austin should have kept his hands to himself. I'm sorry. If he would have never pushed him, they would have never surrounded him like a rap cipher. This wouldn't have never happened. This wouldn't have really never happened because there wouldn't have been no altercation. And Austin, just like everybody is saying, he should have called the adult. He was not no adult. He wasn't no police officer. He wasn't nobody to be telling somebody what to do. But y'all, let's continue listening to this lawyer because he's going out, he's going off like a bucket of crabs. And I agree with him. I agree with him wholeheartedly in what he's saying. So y'all, let's continue.
What were you thinking? How are you put on a robe? Are you that much of an imbecile that you won't let cameras in the courtroom in a case like this? This is not a rape case. This is something different. This is something that's clearly the whole community is enraged, and you knew that before the trial started. So, I mean, this is very upsetting.
You can see the reaction of the crowd outside, of course, has received the news that Karmelo Anthony has been found guilty of the top charge of murder. And now it's
Somebody gave me a gift. Thank you for whoever gave me a gift. And of course, thank you, Jabiel Peterson, Mr. I Am Comedy, for the super chat. Y'all, if y'all can hit the like button, smash the like button, y'all. Let's continue.
courtroom. They are into the penalty phase. At this point, you do wish that the people that were supporting Austin Metcalf would
Oh, that was you, D Dot. Thank you, D Dot, for the gift. Thank you, D Dot. Thank you. Thank you, Jamil. Thank you. Thank you. Smash the like button, y'all. Let's continue.
just leave. To be honest, the jury come back with guilty. There's no need for Mr. Stars and Stripes to be standing there with his moronic, intimidating, stand your groundish. Yeah.
And see, you guys see these, and these are other white men that are seeing these other white men who are like on the other side trying to intimidate and do all these things to these black people. But they were both head to head. I got to say it. They were both head to head, but I don't know the camera. I didn't catch everything from the beginning, but y'all see that the other white America is what for right and what's wrong. Not just because I'm white, I feel like I'm superior to everybody. No, right is right and wrong is wrong. Once we cut ourselves, we all bleed the same color. That's why I don't have a racist bone in my body. I'm telling you, these people are seeing this white America is seeing how other black people are being treated, and they're speaking out. So y'all, let's continue listening because he is going ham.
Look, to continue to incite, you won. Move on, get out. Also joining us, Kimberly Bando. It's been a while, Kimberly. It's nice to see your reaction here.
If I'm the defense attorney, I'm already preparing my appellate brief. I want to poll the jury. I want to know one by one, is this your verdict? I already have my Batson challenge enumeration area in my appellate brief. I'm already I'm pivoting right now. And I'm also trying to get some mitigation witnesses ready. He's a good kid, Judge. This was a mistake. We're remorseful. He admitted it as soon as the police stopped him. We have to pivot as a defense attorney and move on to the next phase. The verdict is in.
Cody Thomas saying that there's lots of crying in the courtroom as everybody absorbs this on Karmelo's side. Also, on the Metcalf side, tears. And again, they're going straight into the penalty phase. And Judge Bando, The jury makeup. There was a Batson challenge launched after the state used their strikes to get rid of the only three African Americans that were potential jurors. And they said this was because they worked for the school district or a school district, and that's the reason they cut them out. Looking forward, is that reason enough?
Wait, Whiskey's made a comment, all that money, and they couldn't get a half decent lawyer. Well, let me tell you guys this because I just found this out today. I did not know that the lawyer he had was a what's it called? They just what's it called? What is it called? The lawyer, they didn't pay for the lawyer. It was like a what do they call you guys? I forget what the name of, but anyway, they didn't pay for the lawyer. Public defender. Yeah, thank you, Anonymous. That lawyer that he had was a public defender. And this lawyer right here that's going off, he said a lot. He really did. He said a lot. So the public defender, they're saying he didn't ask no question. He only had one person, one witness, I believe. Then he didn't call no experts. He didn't call no doctors to say, how kids react in certain situations. He didn't have anything to help him in his case. And this is what they're questioning that lawyer about, because they're saying, does this lawyer have ties to this county and the judges and even the prosecution team? This is what some people are saying. But y'all, let's go on and move on to another another spot. So let's see, hold on just a second, let me go back and see, because there's amazing Lucas. I like the way he had gave his kind of synopsis about what's going on. So let's listen to listen to Lucas and give his take, because he said that he went on there and hold on, he went on X, I think it was on X, and X was banning him because basically he was going on there and he was giving his opinion about the case and about stuff that's going on, and X, I guess they banned him. So I was like, I wouldn't even worry about if they banned me or not, because everybody is entitled to their opinion as long as it's respectful. Hey, it is what it is. Everybody has a voice. Everybody should voice their opinion as long as it's respectful. Let's continue.
Oh my goodness. So let me just say, first things first, I've been permanently suspended on X. I applied an appeal, but the reason for my suspension is that I defended Carmelo Anthony. I kid you not. I essentially said what I said here is that, hey, don't put hands on people. That's what people need to teach your kids. And maybe this whole
See, this is what I said. Do y'all see what this gentleman said? He said if Austin Metcalf had minded him on the business, he would still be alive today. Teach your children to get an adult to handle the situation that they are not in a position to handle. Hashtag he gave Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony. And I'm sorry, but I agree with him. I don't believe nobody should lose their life. But if really and truly, if Austin did not push Carmelo, this wouldn't have happened. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna go to the store. I'm not going to Walmart just pushing on people and think that nobody's gonna push back on me, beat me upside my head. No, I'm not gonna do that. So this is just a known thing. And any of us in the building, if you over there pushing people, somebody's gonna do something really bad. Some people may not do as bad, but best believe they gonna probably, punch you, hit you, slap you. I mean, even probably bring out a pow pow. But y'all, let's continue listening to Lucas.
would have been avoided. X flagged that as violent speech, mind you. Violent speech. They told me to remove the post. I removed the post. Then they still suspend my account. I've applied for appeal, but y'all know how that goes. So we'll see what happens. I'm creating a new account. That being said, when it comes to this case, this case has been just just I don't know, overwhelmed and flooded with misinformation. And I mean, it's typical of any case when there's a black person, a white person in here. We saw this with Ahmaud Arbery, if you all remember, when they were saying, "Oh, he had a hammer in his pocket and everything, and he was robbing the place and stuff like that." But when it comes to this case, I feel that this is the prosecution's case to lose. Damn. And what I mean by that is that I don't. I haven't come across any information or any evidence or any testimony that really is the nail in the coffin. By that same statement, I think the prosecution, they may not have much of the facts, but they got the sizzle. And from what I've been hearing, because I've listened to other people who've gone to the cases, there are a lot of black women who are following this case, and many of them are just saying, "Hey, they're making emotional arguments here.
Yeah.
They're putting on a show for the jury." There was one scenario when they were asking, I believe, the autopsy specialist, whatnot, but the prosecution was like, "Hey, in victim scenarios, don't they usually have their hands up like this when there's a weapon?" And the person was like, "Yeah, that's usually what happens." And was Austin, did he have his hands up like that? He's like, "No, that did not, from my understanding, did not have his hands up in that position." And he turns to the jury and is like, "That's because he never saw it coming." Dang. And that's powerful, right? That may not be truthful, of course, but that's powerful. That's emotional manipulation. That is what's going on. So, from what I've heard of the defense of the prosecution has a bunch of sizzle. They have no stake, right? They have no facts. When you look at the witnesses that are coming on, all of them are being untruthful. Okay, I would go so far as to say lying.
And I say the same thing because all of their stories were not corroborating with each other. Their stories were all over the place. And then it was crazy because the prosecution team, they kept on like the witnesses kept on saying like basically like, oh, it's Carmelo's fault, like he shouldn't have did this. He's no, he's guilty. I think they kept on saying he's guilty of this. And it was like, that they took those witnesses in there, they're young children, they coerced him into saying these things to try to make it look like Carmelo Anthony was a whole like demon child. And what they're saying is that the video that was played crystal clear, and we got other people saying that they seen the video that was crystal clear, that all that shows that Carmelo was jumped by four boys. Four boys. He was jumped by four boys. But y'all, let's continue listening to Lucas.
The reason why I'm saying that is not because I'm just pulling it out my butt. It's because there was one point in time where it was this friend of Carmelo. I believe his name was Eddie. And this kid was trying to act like he didn't know Carmelo. It was very much like how they denied knowing Jesus. I don't know the man. That's what he was doing, right? He was saying, I don't really know Carmelo like that. Like we hang out sometimes. And the defense was like, you want to act like you don't know this kid? Y'all didn't have like a double date at one time? Y'all weren't friends before this event? Y'all didn't hang out, prior to this? Y'all weren't, buddies like that? And this kid was like, nah, not really.
He lied, blatantly lied, and then Carmelo Anthony's mom had all kind of pictures of this boy with Carmelo. That's why I said this jury, I mean this whole court case was rigged. And also they are saying, let me turn the camera. They are saying that Austin Metcalf's dad was leading a witness. That's witness tampering. And we're going to get into that too. Like, matter of fact, let me just kind of like back off of this one, because they said that the dad, Austin's dad, yes, was leading a witness, and it was witness tampering. Hold on just a second. Let me see. So it's just crazy, you guys. It is so crazy with all this stuff going on. I could not believe that they gave him the murder charge. I thought, I really thought that they were going to give him manslaughter, because I talked to a lawyer just the other day, and the lawyer said she was more than likely, more than sure, that he was going to give he was going to get, like, they were going to dumb it down and give him manslaughter. So let me see. Let me see. Hold on just a second, y'all. Okay, this one right here. I think it was this one. Let me see. So Queen Sheba went to the trial, And Queen Sheba, she seen with her own eyes. And also there was a news broadcaster, I think on Law and Crime, who said he seen it too. So that's witness tampering. That's witness tampering. You can't be in there telling them, have the witness on the stand, and then you have the person looking at you and be like, say yes, say yes. He was shaking his head trying to lead the witness, and these are young kids. These are young kids. So it's really really showing that this whole trial was really really unfair, and they're not giving Carmelo his true just due in court. And even the what's it called, the family attorney, the family, not he's not an attorney, he's like a consultant. And he even said that you know he believed in the court, I mean the justice system. But then he basically said no, he don't believe in the justice system. Like, he basically saying that it basically failed in so many words. But hold on, let me see, because Queen Sheba, she was saying that they were just doing the turning of the head and moving around and stuff like that. But hold on just a second. But it's sad, like I said, all the way around. It's super sad. It is really 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 sad. But let me bring up Queen Sheba. And if you guys don't know Queen Sheba, shout out to her. She was at the trial along with Nick at Night. And let me see, she was at the trial with Nick at Night. But y'all, let's listen to see what she said. She did a call-in show, and then this is where she was talking about it at. So let's continue. Uh-oh, let me turn that back around. Let's see. It's sad. It's sad all the way around. But y'all, welcome in the building. This is like a crazy day. I'm waiting to see if they're going to come up with a sentencing. They're supposed to do it tonight, but let's see what they say. Here, we're about to open up the lines today. I see y'all are on one today, and I'm on that type of time. So I thought, why not just open up the lines and let you all come up and duke it out? Let you come up and duke it out. So happy Sunday, everybody. I am ready to rumble. And I think y'all are too. I am Queen Sheba. Welcome. I am boots on the ground covering the Carmelo. Okay, Anonymous said I subbed to Neek at Night. Yes, Neek at Night, she did awesome reporting. And there was a lady called what's her name? Sarah Fields, that was harassing this lady, Queen Sheba, and Neek at Night. And Neek at Night broke down, and she was having a melt, like she was like emotional because the lady was like harassing them at the trial. But y'all, let's continue listening to Queen Sheba. Anthony case here in McKinney, Texas. But let me give you some housekeeping rules. And then I am going to go. Where did I go? Uh-oh. Hey. Okay, there we go. And then I'm gonna go off screen. Okay. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna open up the lines. I already dropped the link. I'm not gonna carry today's show. I give you content every day. It's your time to call in as viewers. All you have to do is click the link. Click the link, because I can respect it when you stand on business. There is no right. There is no wrong. Your opinion is your opinion. And that's what we do over here. But here's the thing. We got to keep it clean. We will not use any derogatory terms, but your opinion, thank you. But your opinion is your opinion. So listen, my moderators already know white folks get to speak their opinion. Black folks get to speak their opinion. They ain't timing nobody out because it is what it is, period. So let me tell you how the link works. Let me pin it to the top of the chat. Hold on, y'all. Everybody's saying, where's the link? Where's the link? Let me pin it for you. Hold on. And we're gonna see her talk about we're gonna see her talk about let me fast forward it just a little bit. We're gonna see her talk about how the judge, I guess, wasn't able to see the dad like leading the witness. But let's continue to listen to Queen Sheba. Yeah. I run a tight ship like Judge Roach. That's why it is what it is when it comes to his rules, because you're going to get 30 seconds to speak your piece. When your 30 seconds is up, it's done. It's a wrap.
Now, if you get into like a heated debate and I feel like I'm with the shits today and I want to see y'all go back and forth, I'll be like, hey, you stay up, and I'll let y'all go at it. But I'm going to dictate the rules of engagement if it comes to that, okay? Happy Cheetah. Welcome, welcome. Happy. Hi, how are you? Can you hear me? Yeah.
Okay, hold on, y'all. Let me back out of there real quick. Let me fast forward it because let me see. Cause she says it. Um okay, let's listen.
Hey, Ann, welcome. What are your thoughts, Ann? Sorry, I can't hear. Just a second. Okay. We're going to give Ann a couple of seconds to get her audio, and she'll be right back. Everybody, thank you for your patience, and I'm glad y'all pulled up. What's happening? Oh no, you're good, Ann. We can hear you. We can hear you. Are you able to skip me until I figure out what's happening? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. All right. So let's go to the next caller. We got Tracy P. Welcome. Good morning, Tracy. Happy Sunday. What are your thoughts? Hi, Queen. Can you hear me? Okay, great. I think your commentary is just awesome. Your detail, everything. It feels like I'm in the courtroom. This is such a tragedy. I just can't wait to see what the defense puts on because the prosecution's case is it's a little damning. I'm just praying for a Hail Mary here. They're gonna have to pull something out their head because this is gonna be interesting. And thank you again for all that you do. Absolutely. It's my pleasure. And thank you for coming up. That was Tracy P. We're going to drop Tracy down and we're going to try to go back to Ann. Hey, Ann, you're on mute, Ann, if you can hear me. You're going to have to tap.
And Queen Sheba, like I said, she's been there every day, I believe, in the courtroom. She missed like a few days, but most of the time she was there in the courtroom.
Your microphone. Yes. One time. Can you hear me now? Okay. Let me, Ann's still working on her. Yes. Can you hear me? I can hear you. Your microphone. Yes. Can you hear me? One time. Okay, hear me now? Okay. So I just got, yes, can you hear me? I just got my first introduction to you yesterday after listening to another BLK creator. So I really do appreciate all of your sentiments. I know this is really quickly, but I think that there are a lot of
Okay, I think she's trying to get the audio because it sounds like she's like kind of like echoing.
and setting up the stage for smoke and mirrors, and they're using that to play on the heartstrings. So I think
Okay, she's trying to figure out the the echoing.
for smoke and mirrors, am I able to continue?
Okay. Let's wait and see she passed. But I'm trying to get to the point where she basically is saying about what I'm trying to get to as far as the let me see. As far as the shaking of the head, nodding, trying to lead the witnesses, like that's like tampering. And they were saying that the judge was like trying to basically tell them if you do this, if you do that, you're gonna get thrown out the courtroom. But yet here is the dad leading. Going in the background. Okay, let's go back. I took you off. I'm going to bring you back in, but you have a real, like, there's something playing and it's overlapping your audio. I'm going to come back in. Welcome, Doctor. Hey, Queen Sheba, how's it going? And it's going. And thank you for bringing this to the forefront. I guess I have maybe a rhetorical question. So, in light of what happened earlier this week with the store owner, the I forget his first name, but Child and Cyrus. So I guess my question is if we cannot, I guess, flee without it being an issue, then you would think that should be able to stand our ground. But if we're not able to stand our ground, I guess my question is what options do we have in protecting ourselves? Because it seems like whichever direction you go, according to the court, it seemed like, well, I know this one is still up in the air, but even for it to be
occasion to be at trial. It just seemed like, okay, so we can't stand our ground, we can't flee, we can't run. So what are we to do? To just stand there? Like, so it's a rhetorical question, but I would like to know your thoughts. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Dorcas. So that's a really good question. Let's see if anybody wants to come up and speak to that. All right. We have Free Carmelo. Welcome, Free Carmelo. What you got?
Just thought it was really interesting when you said that it was very obvious to everyone in the courtroom that Jeff Metcalf elect.
Okay, here it is, you guys. He is going to talk about how Jeff Metcalf was leading the witnesses, y'all. Let's listen.
One of the witnesses answer the questions in your comment section of that video. Everyone was saying like, oh, who is this woman? She's just biased, saying anything. And then Court TV or Law and Crime, YouTube page with like a million something followers, their reporter said the exact same thing, that the witness was looking over at Jeff Metcalf and he was visibly shaking his head in the courtroom.
Yeah.
Everyone else was able to see that, and Judge Roach was kicking people out for whispering. How is he not seeing a witness look over at someone in the gallery and giving answers to like? How is he not seeing that? That just doesn't make sense to me.
That's a good question. So let me tell you what happened with that, and thank you for asking. So when that was happening, Judge Roach was positioned this way.
Uh-oh.
If you can see me, Mr. Metcalf is back there. So Judge Roach would have had to have turned this way to see what was going on. I was able to see it because I was this way and I'm watching the witness, and I could see every time he was asked a question, he would look like, if you, right, I'm looking into the screen or asking me a question and I go this way every time I answer. And I'm like, what is he looking at? I mean, it went on for at least 20 to 30 minutes. So finally, I attempted to position my body because I thought maybe he knew somebody in the jury, but it was Mr. Metcalf he was looking at. And when I leaned back to take a better look at the jury, I could see Mr. Metcalf telling him when to say yes and when to say no. And at the exact time when a defense said, would you describe Hunter Metcalf as a big boy, a bigger boy? Mr. Metcalf said, and the witness said no.
Wow.
And at that,
Do y'all see what is going on? Do y'all see the setup? She was in the courtroom seeing all of this, and she's like, the judge couldn't see it, of course, because the way he was positioned. But you telling me that nobody like said nothing? I would have been raising my hand, I would have been pointing or something. But this is what I'm saying. He didn't get a fair trial at all. Them people want to send him to the moon. Them people want to send him to the moon. And y'all see what the last attorney on court TV was saying. And he was a white man. He was upset. He was calling the judge stupid and everything. Everything but the child of God. He was upset because he was saying that, look it, Carmelo didn't get no fair trial. He didn't have no peers on the juror, no jurors of his peers. Then you got this Queen Sheba saying that, guess what, the Metcalf, the daddy was leading the witnesses that were on the stand testifying. So you telling me that the judge, and nobody's like alert? Like, that's just weird to me. It just doesn't sound right. But this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to send him to the moon. But let me see if there's any intel yet um as far as the sentencing. Let me see if they have anything for the sentencing, you guys. But this is sad. This is like really, really this is terrible. This is really, really terrible. So I could be correct. But he said that he don't want to be on the jury because he don't want to put a black brother in jail. Oh, that's Nick at Night. She's about to go live. Let me see. This is sad, you guys. Let me see. I'm trying to see. if let's see what the okay, this is an attorney, Simone. If you guys don't know her, she is an attorney out of Dallas. Let's see what she has to say because she's a professional lawyer. She's a lawyer here in Texas. Let's see what she has to say about this story and this situation. And because she's a legal expert, you know, she knows what she's talking about, she knows the law. Let's see what she has to say.
Kind of how they are going to deliberate on the sentencing options. It was deeper and deeper out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got one arrest. So
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
two arrests.
Yeah. She's playing the video where I guess they got two arrests. I guess because it's getting closer to sentencing. She's live right now, and they're live on Fox 4 and live out of Dallas. So let's see what Simone has to say. Cause she, if you guys aren't aware, this is Simone, and her channel is Girl Is That Legal. She's a lawyer in Dallas. So she knows the law. She sees all the grift and all the unfairness. So let's see what she's saying.
Sentencing. So under the jury instructions, they included the issue of what's called sudden passion. If the jury unanimously take this if they unanimously find that the defendant caused the death under the quote immediate influence of a sudden passion, he can be sentenced to no more than 20 years, but no less than 2. That would make it manslaughter. Okay. If the jury unanimously finds the defendant did not cause the death under an immediate influence of quote sudden passion, he can be sentenced to life, but no less than 5 years. In either case, you can get a fine. We don't care about that. As a fine is the least of the worries. But the sentence may also be reduced by parole. We already talked about that. That's not happening. However, the defendant is not eligible for parole until the time served equals half of the sentence imposed, or 30 years. Okay, so I did say the half part, or 30 years. So obviously, if it was like a 60-year sentence, he needed to do at least 30. And whatever the sentence is, has to be unanimous. So when I talked in a previous video about a panic response, that panic response would be consistent with fighting. This was more of a sudden passion. The problem with the wording sudden passion just doesn't fit at all. First of all, sudden passion sounds more like something that would apply if it was I walked in on my woman cheating with another man and then I killed or her or both of them. Sudden passion in this context, there are equivalents. I don't have the wording that the defense used, but I hope that they crafted it in a way that basically would communicate it's more of a panic response. It's more of a I suddenly reacted and responded. Because keeping in mind, we're dealing with 2 teenagers here that are idiots. Teenagers are idiots. This is not specific to Austin. This is not specific to Carmelo. They're idiots, which is why they are not allowed to even sign contracts at that age. Someone asked, can you address if I think, hold on. And I think some YouTubers spreaded misinformation. To be honest, I only followed Queen Sheba and Nick at Night. I did not look at some of the others, so I can't speak on whether others were spreading misinformation. Oh, I got it. I made you a mod. Thank you so much. And thank you for that super chat. I apologize for taking so long. Thank you, W. Brizzle. I really appreciate that.
Okay, you guys, let me kind of switch it back up real quick because right now it's like getting closer to them letting everybody know what the verdict is. So let me go back and go back to that so we can see what's going on outside of the courthouse, like literally like right now. Let's kind of wrap that back to the news live in Dallas, you guys, and see what is actually going on out there at the courthouse.
Of the decision on this. And so that's good news to hear. And it's also very good so that we can pay attention, like pay close attention out here, because as we know, when the sentence is
I'll ask him anonymous. I'll ask him.
public sense that there could be a lot that's happening out here.
Are there people speaking now? Dion, as you stand there and report to us, are there people speaking or a crowd gathering at the steps of the courthouse?
Yeah, there's still some interaction going on, and the best I can describe it now is that people are just trying to get their points across. They're kind of yelling and like now who has like a little microphone and she's kind of it's an amplified microphone, so she's just kind of shouting out some things that she feels like people should hear from her and be aware of. I can't even really make out what she's saying, but she's got some folks who are clapping and kind of encouraging her, and then others who are just there with their their devices, their cell phones, and just kind of recording her. But it is
I'm just gonna
a situation that is, yeah.
this out there. There's a guy there in a white t-shirt, and yes, Texas is the right carry state right there.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Yes.
Do y'all see he got a gun? Texas allows people to have their pow pows and to show them. So y'all, let's see.
Yeah.
My opinion only.
Yeah, I mentioned that. Yeah, that I just it's very it's giving that you need to keep your head on a swivel.
Right.
And so
Right.
that's basically
Yeah, open carry. Yep, anonymous.
that I am in. And and although he has a firearm on his waistband, he's smiling, he's talking with someone, and they're is seemingly, lightheartedly talking about something. But right next to him is a woman who is kind of shouting, and she's very frustrated about whatever it is she's trying to get across to the folks here. So it is it's a mix of emotions that definitely warrants our paying close attention to what's going on out here.
Definitely. We want everybody to keep their cool. Everybody's got opinions. They're expressing that, got the right to do that, but we want to make sure everybody stays safe while they're in front of that court.
So it's 7:12 now, 12 minutes past
Yeah.
7:00. Last word from our lawyer Brown.
Wow, it's a lot of people out there, y'all. It is a lot of people out there in Dallas in front of the courthouse. I mean, in in front of Collin County Courthouse in, I guess, Frisco. I believe it's Frisco. Y'all, let's continue listening. Smash the like button, y'all. Let's get some more likes up in the building. Come on, y'all, hit that like button.
She's a criminal defense attorney. Bree, you've been watching this all day. Thanks for joining us. We could be hearing.
Thank you for having me.
We could be hearing the punishment very soon.
Yeah, I think it's this is a tough case for this entire community. Carmelo Anthony found guilty of murdering the victim in this case, the victim's family, sort of accepting that verdict, understanding that verdict. Carmelo Anthony's family accepting that verdict, understanding that verdict. This is really tough, I think, for this entire community.
Wow, it's a lot of people.
Sean Rabb, good to see you tonight. We are waiting for punishment.
So I actually just moved back to Austin. And
Oh wow. Hold on. Let's see you guys. Let's get that. Uh-oh.
Self-defense. Bill Worski has said, send a lengthy sentence, send a message that we will not tolerate senseless violence in this community. That sounds like 40 years plus is what he's hoping this jury will return with.
Wow.
I think that having done criminal defense and being a prosecutor sort of for a combined 17 years certainly in Dallas County as a neighboring county to Collin County, times are changing. I think that there was a period of time where communities would understand the facts of this case as tragic, but also would be able to listen to the facts and the evidence and render, I think, an appropriate sentence, an appropriate verdict. I think many people uh, believed that there was a tremendous amount of evidence related to a reckless act on the part of Carmelo Anthony, and therefore likely that the jury would have come back with a manslaughter. I think that would have obviously capped Carmelo Anthony at a 20-year sentence. I I don't know whether or not this community is going to sentence a 19-year-old kid who is very young, his brain is not fully developed, to a 40-year prison sentence. I think that that's exactly what the district attorney's office may be asking for, may be hoping for, may have argued for. However, I think that there is something to be said for redemption, rehabilitation, which would look like a much shorter sentence.
The fact that Carmelo Anthony's mother was the only witness who spoke in his favor, in his behalf, asking for mercy from the jury. You're not involved with this case, but how effective could that be? And are you surprised that there was only one witness on his behalf?
That was crazy.
I think that most people, myself included, are a little baffled by a single witness being called for a 19-year-old defendant that was just convicted of murder. I
Exactly.
think that there is a lot of room for all kinds of expert witnesses to be able to testify about the juvenile brain, about the development of impulse control over a period of time. I think that there was certainly witnesses that may have been able to testify very specifically about not, about what kind of student he was, what kind of athlete he was, what type of opportunity he, sort of may have had going forward in his life. And that's not to take away from the life of Austin Metcalf, but it absolutely is to say that this is not a soul that we absolutely throw away and say there's no possible, hope for you to rehabilitate and ensure that you don't make this choice again. I think that it is it was interesting to say the one person that you called is the one person that everybody would expect to say that their child is amazing and please have mercy and please, don't throw him away. I mean, I think that that's what a mother would and should say about their own child that's just been convicted of murder. And so I think it would have been important for a jury to hear from people that are a little bit detached from Carmelo Anthony. So yeah, a juvenile, a psycho, neuropsychological expert. I mean, somebody that can really talk about the way that this young man's.
Exactly. And y'all, they didn't call any experts. They only called one witness. What kind of defense was this? It's horrible. A public pretender is what supported him during his trial. This is crazy. Let's continue.
Brain will ultimately develop so that he does not make this choice again. And I'm baffled really by why we didn't see any of that.
Very interesting. Heard from a number of our attorney friends who have really said we thought we'd hear more.
Yeah.
And of course, we don't know the plan of the defense team. We don't know what they have talked about with Carmelo Anthony and his family. So we're not privy to all of that information. But I think that's why, whatever those reasons are the reasons that they only called a half dozen witnesses, and ultimately the reason they only had one witness, uh, in the punishment phase. So
You think that we truly cannot Monday night quarterback this thing. I do agree that there are countless conversations that you have with your client. There are countless conversations that you have with your client's loved ones and family. There is a tremendous amount of strategy that goes into every decision that you make as a defense attorney, as a defense team. And so I will say, while it seems quite interesting that only one witness was called, there could have been, sort of discussions and strategy around the only person that Carmelo Anthony wanted to speak on his behalf was his mother. There are lots of things that could have been considered, and we all need to remember that when it comes to any sort of criminal prosecution, any sort of criminal trial, that the person charged, the citizen accused, the person convicted is the driver of that ship. And so even if we as defense attorneys may think that there are better strategies, different strategies, would have done things differently, would have handled cases differently, we are wholly guided by the wishes and the desires of our client. And in this case, because he's so young, I don't doubt for 1 second that his family played a huge role in the decisions that he made.
So let me ask you this. Let's talk about now what's happening with these jurors at this moment. Um, you've been in the seat waiting for the answer. You've been in both seats, Bree. So let's talk about what's happening with the jurors at this moment as they try to assess years of confinement.
It's really tough, I think, for the jurors, especially under these facts. Because you have to remember, none of these jurors are lawyers. And I don't know how long it's going to take, but you guys, they're still trying to figure out the sentence. They're live right here in front of the courtroom. So, y'all, let's just continue to listen for right now until we get the verdict. I'm sorry, get the sentencing. Right. So one of the reasons that we call witnesses during the punishment phase is to help jurors make a decision beyond the arguments that the attorneys make about where do I begin in my deliberations for assessing punishment under these sets of facts, understanding that I'm now needing to factor in everything that I can possibly know about Karmelo Anthony, about his life, about where he comes from, about where he's going, and really figure out what is most appropriate, because what we're asking a jury to do, which is a unique thing in Texas, right? Where in Texas we allow juries to impose punishment, impose sentences, right, which is unusual in the United States. But because we do that, we have a responsibility to educate them to say what is an appropriate punishment when you're looking at the whole person here. Because I think it's easy to say, oh, well, you killed someone, so let's sentence you to life. I think that's an easy thing. I think what's much more meaningful is to say, let us dissect everything that we possibly can, not only about the offense, not only about the victim, but about this defendant and what can, where he can go and grow from this experience. And I'm hoping that this jury and Facts Anonymous. Anonymous said keyboard warriors show the racism, but won't say racial verbiage in person. People get heads knocked off for that. Exactly, Anonymous. You are speaking truth to facts. Facts, absolutely. I totally agree. Look at Dr. J said, Anonymous, absolutely. I agree with you, Anonymous, 1,000%. Because if people are saying nasty things like that while they in the lives, while they're on people's like Facebook, Instagram, social media, TikTok, and all that, but they won't dare say stuff like that in public to nobody. But y'all, let's continue. Thanks, Anonymous. At this moment, that feels really fast. That feels really fast. Now, it could be really fast in part because they weren't given a lot to think about, right? Like normally you want everybody to have to sift through like the brain scans or wait, that's like the first black cop that I seen there, you guys. That's the first black cop that I seen there, and he's a sheriff or something. That's the first black one that I seen. But y'all, let's continue. It's lightning speed, but maybe not, right? Because they only have so much information that they can consider. And, there's only so much time you're going to go around and around in a circle about what people's thoughts and opinions are.
Right. That's good.
Wow. So, but if you're saying that you would expect or you would have expected reports, you would have expected more than just the mother speaking, why do you think that didn't happen? And again, I think that I think you've seen, right? There's so many people that are Monday night quarterbacking what the decisions were as it relates to the defense team and why they called who they called and why they didn't call anybody else. And I don't know that I can really say with any level of clarity, sort of why we landed here. But I do think that there's something to be said for painting a complete picture of Karmelo Anthony, to say that this is a 19-year-old kid. He made a bad choice. Another person lost his life, but his life matters too.
And it's really impossible for us to know at this moment until we can hear from the defense team. Remember, there was a gag order imposed in this case, so we've been able to talk to the attorneys leading up even to this trial, as we so often do, to learn what we can, glean what we can about their defense and how they plan to approach the case. What we learned about it really was during voir dire, that it appears as if they're going to make self-defense their claim. And yet we didn't learn about that until they were picking the jury in voir dire. So here, being told by Lori Brown, our reporter in the courtroom, that Austin Metcalf's family is there, but only Carmelo Anthony's grandmother is there at this hour, but not his parents who were there earlier. Maybe they're coming.
Uh-oh, something's happening. Uh-oh, hold on.
Yeah, that
Right. It's not that kind of situation.
Feel like people are running.
Tried those cases on either table where the person had no support, the defendant had no support, nobody there with them. This is not that type of case or family.
Wow.
That's what makes this so interesting, right? It does seem like, sort of what you begin to learn, about Carmelo Anthony is that he has a two-parent household, right? He has a loving family. He had a tremendous amount of support. It does seem like he was a good student. He had a bright future. And so it's very interesting that again that there just wasn't more of that kind of pushed as the narrative in punishment. But I agree with you, Sean, that there's no set of circumstances, in my opinion, where as he is sentenced for the murder conviction, that he will not be supported by his parents and by his family. So perhaps it's just a scheduling timing thing. Maybe they're in the bathroom.
But I also think, you guys, that the parents of Carmelo, they're probably tired, exhausted. They found out that he got found guilty of murder. That's a lot to intake. So the grandma is there right now. I'm sure they're probably kind of, the parents are probably taking all of this in. This is a lot.
Guilt, in a sense, is a snapshot in time. It is what happened in this moment between these two people. It is only a decision about whether or not the defendant is guilty of committing the offense charge, just that moment in time. And then we talk about punishment being the photo album, the whole story, the good, the bad, the ugly, right? Maybe you walked little old ladies across the street helping them with their groceries, or maybe you were the worst person on the face of the planet. But it's really all about everything about the defendant, right? Because when you get to the punishment phase, you are punishing that person. When you're talking about guilt and innocence, you're talking about, sort of what are the circumstances about, regarding all of it, right? Regarding that moment in time, the victim, the circumstances, the defendant. But once we
Hey, Deborah, welcome.
about what is an appropriate punishment for this one individual in terms of how they live their life and where they might go. And so there's a huge difference in the analysis, right, between do I find this person guilty or not guilty versus if I found them guilty, what is an appropriate punishment understanding this whole person's life. And so you're exactly right. It's a totally different analysis. And I'm hoping that this jury feels, sort of given the tools and feels confident enough to be able to say, okay, I understand what my role is here in the punishment phase, that it's beyond just this moment in time. It really is the entirety of Carmelo Anthony.
Wow.
Wow. A lot to look at. There's no juvenile history. Uh, there's nothing. I mean, again, sometimes it's easier if I'm a juror and I have someone sitting in front of me that has this long history of doing bad things. It's easier for me to come to some conclusions about how long that person should be put away. And maybe that's part of what we're going to find out tonight when we hear what the final decision is. Because there wasn't a lot to look at in terms of a bad history. The kid didn't have that. Neither one of these kids had that.
Right. But that in and of itself is significant, right? Like, so if it's easy to say, oh, I have this long criminal history sitting in front of me, that makes it a little bit easier for me to understand that this person is maybe generally a bad person and therefore they deserve more punishment. That if I don't have that in front of me, if I don't have a long criminal history, if things aren't bad for this person, that one would assume that that means that this person perhaps deserves less punishment, right? Because they haven't lived their life as a terrible person. They haven't hurt people and, done all types of different things beyond this one incident. And so I think that there is an argument to be made that, if you are not seeing all of those things that might make it easy to be able to sentence somebody to an extended period of time in prison, that in and of itself means that the sentence should reflect that this person hasn't been terrible.
Bree, we've seen some very notable trials here in North Texas, but we haven't seen very many trials, Sean, where the judge said we're going to hold court on a Saturday, that we're going to do this 6 days a week. That was
Yeah, that I think that was epic. They said the judge wanted to have court on a Saturday, and that was kind of strange because they said they don't normally have court on a Saturday, of course, in Frisco. Now, the attorney I spoke with out of New York, she said they have court every day. In New York, I did not know this. They said they had court every day. Jamil Peterson says if we would have went, we would have been all in the mix. I know, right? Me and Jamil had planned to go to Frisco to the court hearing, but y'all, we didn't know that it was gonna be finished and done with today. But y'all, let's continue. I wish I was there. I'm telling you, I wish I was there. Y'all, let's continue. Oh,
unexpected or a surprise from a lot of people that Judge Roach said, no, we're going to do this on Saturday.
So here's the very interesting thing that I've learned about sort of how Collin County has decided to manage this case. And this is, I think, unusual, especially considering that there are many, many high profile cases that are handled throughout this country and in North Texas that are not quite handled this way. But what I've learned just through my sources is that the entire courthouse was essentially shut down during the Karmelo Anthony trial. In other words, there were really no other jury trials. There were no other hearings. There was essentially very little court held, I guess maybe just emergency situations. And I think for that reason, because that was the decision that was made by the Collin County judges, that there had to be some measure of, we have to move this a little bit more quickly because we can't indefinitely shut down this courthouse, right? We're a gigantic county. There are many, many, court hearings that have to take place on any given day. And remember, the Collin County courthouse is a courthouse of general jurisdiction, which means that every court in the courthouse hears both criminal and civil cases. There are family law cases that are held there as well. And so you can't shut that down forever. And so I imagine that Judge Roach, in his decision to ask all of the other judges to comply with what he thought was going to be the safest way to manage a trial that created this amount of, sort of division with
Anonymous. Okay. Jabil, you see what Anonymous said? Anonymous said that he was gonna bring the 34-foot trailer and we can camp out at the next big thing. Okay, we're gonna camp out at the next big trial. Okay, that's what I'm talking about, Anonymous. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Y'all, let's continue. Uh-oh. Hold on. Okay.
35 years is the sentence, not
Oh,
their passion. 35-year sentence
wow. Breaking news.
after serving half of that time.
Wow. 35 years, you guys. Oh my God. Whoa. Wow.
What's your reaction?
there's the sentence.
35, 35 years. Oh my God, y'all. Wow. Carmelo just got 35 years. Y'all, this is sad. This is terrible. Oh my God.
People that have killed people, that have harmed children, that have harmed babies. I have defended people that have killed multiple people. I have a death penalty case that I'm a part of right now, and I will tell you,
Wow.
in my 17 years, I think these set of facts.
Wow.
Jury coming to the conclusion that 35 years in prison is an appropriate sentence.
Wow.
It's quite incredible.
Wow.
I'm slightly blown away.
Oh my God.
I'll tell you that it's important that we always remember here in Texas that you have a range of punishment. The range of punishment for a murder conviction is anywhere from 5 years to 99 years or life. And regardless of the sentence that you receive, In the state of Texas, you are required to serve half of your sentence or 30 years, whichever is less. So in this particular instance, he's sentenced to 35 years. Before he becomes eligible for parole, he will have to serve half of that sentence. What is that? 16 and a half years, 17 and a half years?
Roughly so.
Yeah.
My God.
And that
It's
man,
sad.
the age of Austin Metcalf, when this happened in
I
2025,
think that
17.
I think you're right about that, Sean.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm actually surprised differently. I again felt like it was going to be longer. I just did, based on I know Bill Worski was
What he
asking.
called for.
Yeah, he didn't give them a number. He didn't assign a number in his closing statements in the punishment phase, but he impressed on them that it should be lengthy, that it should be long.
Wow.
Send a message.
35 years, y'all. This is sad.
Talk to those jurors about them coming together as a community to do the right thing, to serve justice. He put on those jurors the idea that they were upholding the standard for the community, and so I thought it might be longer. I hope we get to hear from the jury foreman or one of the jurors at some point.
Wow. 35 years. Oh, my Jesus. Oh,
Word is
my
out
God.
to those outside the courthouse.
Wow.
It does look like people are
Oh,
somber, they're looking very,
Yeah.
very astonished.
wow.
So some
Why are we seeing?
the courtroom.
Wow. 35 years Carmelo got.
Any active part of what?
Oh, they're probably part of media or something, probably. Yeah, probably media. Yeah, probably media because they got the tags.
For this.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Obviously the national news. And I just want to make one comment about one of the things that jurors are instructed to do as it relates to assessing punishment. Obviously, it's a standard
Wow.
an argument and punishment to say, this is our community, sort of don't stand for senseless violence or whatever it is in our communities where we live and all that. Send the message to, this defendant and the community at large and all that kind of stuff. And that's a standard prosecution argument. But the other thing that a jury is also told is during those jury instructions, when they're being read to the jury, they are told that they cannot consider, they can understand the existence of parole law, but they cannot consider it as they contemplate an appropriate sentence. So in other words, it's interesting to me that it's 35 years and that half of that, which is what he would be required to serve before he's eligible for parole, is about 17 and a half years. And that is likely the age, right, that Mr. Metcalf was when he passed away. And I wonder whether or not that jury, even though they were instructed, they may have taken that into consideration.
I certainly think that's a possibility. Of the age piece, to me, it seems to be. I seem to recall he was that age, 17 for sure, and perhaps very close to 17 and a half.
Wow, sad.
Jurors. There seems to be some commotion here outside, and we see several sheriff's department vehicles and a crowd there. Um,
Are they reacting to this? Is someone speaking about this?
It's hard to tell.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Phones are up.
It looks like somebody's like speaking or giving some type of speech, maybe, because I don't see nothing like no fight or nothing. I just feel like somebody's giving a speech or something. Cause see, they're all like just holding their phones up. They're probably saying a prayer or something. Maybe it's what it looks like to me. I may be wrong.
So at this moment, what's happening as you are the attorney? First, tell us, as the defense attorney, you're talking to your client and their family. Or you're preparing to meet the media, or what? Go ahead, Clarice.
Yeah, we see that woman in pink. She's the one who's speaking. Yeah, that they're listening to and recording. Okay.
Oh, and I will say that I've seen her. She's been at the court a number of days. She certainly was there when I was there. So I don't know if she is someone that was one of the first ones to come out after the verdict was read and is perhaps delivering some of the information.
So y'all, Anthony Carmelo got 35 years for y'all just joining us, y'all. This is sad. Please put the prayer hands and the hearts in the comment box, you guys. Sad that Anthony lost his life as well, but it's sad that um Carmelo, I mean, Austin lost his life, and Carmelo Anthony, he got sentenced to 35 years in prison. It's sad.
On them, they are your priority. His mom, his dad, and certainly Carmelo Anthony as your client. That is your priority. That is who you're talking to. You're also talking about what are the next steps, right? Because obviously punishment is imposed. He's serving his sentence. He will begin serving his sentence right now. But at the same time, there are steps after this, right? We have to file a motion for new trial to make sure that if there's anything that we can capture during the course of this trial that was done wrong, we can preserve that error. We have to file our notice of appeal because if there are things to appeal, we have a time frame under which we want the courts to know that that's what our intention is. And so you're having a discussion about what are our next steps. And you're obviously encouraging your client. And I've been in this position before. I've been doing defense work for a number of years. You're also encouraging your client not to give up hope, right? That there is hope still. They have to keep their head up, that this is not over, and that you have to keep pressing forward.
Okay, now put your prosecutor hat back on, because what are you saying now to the family of your victim?
So now what you're saying to your family of your victim is this was a great verdict. This is justice. Your son, sort of his life was meaningful to our community. They sent a message to say that this type of engagement or this type of interaction between young people is never allowed. And they sent a message. And I think that you're, sort of not celebrating with your victim's family, but you're certainly saying to them, that this was a good thing. And I would imagine that Austin Metcalf's family is, they're in the process of sort of thanking, the prosecution, the district attorney's office, for putting on a good case and getting a verdict that was so significant.
Bree, what about the jury? Where are they now? What could be happening to them right now? Who could be talking to them right now?
Generally, what you see is that once a jury reaches its verdict, they're obviously released from all of the rules, right? They're released. They can talk about the case openly now. They can talk to each other. And generally, you're going to have the judge that's going to go back and talk to them privately first, right? To say, okay, thank you for your service. You're released from everything. And then usually, and I can't speak specifically for Judge Roach, but usually the judges say, you are now free to talk to whomever you want, and that includes the lawyers. And sometimes the lawyers would like to come back and talk to you to ask you kind of what did you think? Why did you arrive at your decision? What were the things that that were highlighted for you? But the judge is also going to tell them that they don't have to talk to anyone. And so for the jurists that don't want to speak to anybody, which usually is a lot of them, right? They would be escorted. I know that there's like a sort of a back cave thing that the jurors come through to make sure that they're safe as they're coming and going from court. So I would imagine that for those that don't want to talk to anybody, that's probably what they're doing. But usually you have a very brief conversation just with the judge. You can ask questions. You can get clarity on things, and then you're open to talk to the lawyers if you want to, and if not, then you're free to go.
And if there's something that's emotionally traumatic for
Wow, this is sad, you guys. I'm devastated. 35 years is a lot of time for something that it wasn't intentionally. I don't think it was intentionally that he did this. It was a reaction. It was to me more like a self-defense. I don't believe that they played the right video, because if they did, this would not have happened. This even the Law and Crime on, I'm sorry, Court TV, that lawyer, he said, why didn't the judge put this to an open court hearing? Why wasn't it on TV? Because they know they had a lot of stuff, a lot of dirty, murky waters, that things that they were doing that was unjust to Carmelo Anthony. I'm sorry, a lot of people are seeing that, and I'm standing on my word. But y'all, let's continue. This is sad.
Jurors have said this was so hard. Do you, so defense attorney, have any advice for us on how to process this. And so there are discussions like that that can happen, but the actual resources and things like that will come from not only district attorney's office, but Collin County generally.
Hey, hold on for 1 sec, Bree. We're going to bring in Amelia Clarice.
Yeah, Amelia Jones outside the courthouse. Amelia, tell us what you're seeing, what you're hearing now that the punishment phase has come in 35 years.
Hi there, Clarice. Yeah, when that sentence came down, I did hear several people scream out 35 years, just as they were reacting to getting the news. We do hear some preach.
Hold on real quick. Mike says if he wasn't black, this would be an issue for you. Let me tell you something, Mike. One of my son-in-laws is a white boy. So don't tell me if it was a white boy, a black boy, it doesn't matter what color boy it was, I would feel the same way. So don't tell me because my family is mixed with everything, okay? All right, y'all, let's continue
over to my left here on a loudspeaker, but then I believe Bree saw a shot of this large crowd rather, and someone talking in the middle here. I'll step out of the way so my photographer Sam can kind of give you a little better look here. But this is what we've seen all throughout the afternoon: is all of the sudden people would gather, and in a large crowd, you see a lot of cell phones held in the air, a lot of them live streaming on social media like they have all afternoon. And now with this sentence of 35 years coming down, they are back live streaming, back kind of sharing the reactions. I'm not sure who the woman is in the middle, but as Bree said, she had a pink shirt on. It sounds like Bree West, the criminal defense attorney and former Dallas County prosecutor we had on, obviously not involved in this case, but she's been here, and she said that she recognized her as someone who, has been here outside the courthouse. We know a lot of people have. This case has just garnered a lot of attention nationally and internationally. So just some people upset about that sentence. I have not gotten a chance to speak with others just to see how kind of the temperature is with others here. But the crowd has definitely, there's more people here, that's for sure. People got out of their cars, kind of rushed down here and started gathering in this large crowd. And hopefully we'll have a chance to speak to some people one-on-one and just kind of see a little bit of what they think. I know I heard you all mention Sean saying something about how he was a little surprised, and then Bree sharing her comments as well. So just I'm gonna talk to some folks out here, hopefully one-on-one, like I said, and see how they are feeling about it. But initial reaction out here, Clarice and Sean, was some people upset. That's for sure. We're seeing this large group disperse, but I will say we haven't seen any clashes like we did at 6:30. The man who was arrested here at the courthouse was walking through my live shot, and we haven't seen any clashes right now. But of course, we will keep you updated on what we are seeing. With that, I will send it back to you guys, Clarice and Sean.
All right, Amelia, thanks. Right now, we're going to bring in Allison Richardson, who is a jury consultant. Allison, thanks for joining us. Give us your reaction to what has just transpired from this jury.
Hi, Clarice. Well, I'm not really surprised, to be honest with you. Once the jury got past the point of deciding they would not find it was self-defense, which they did rather quickly.
Yeah, it is crazy, Jamil, right? It's super crazy. 35 years is a long time.
Was Jaworski made an appeal for community safety, an appeal to protect their community against senseless violence. One of the things that's been on my mind throughout this trial is, even though this is certainly not anywhere near a mass shooting or anything like that, school violence is on the minds of a lot of people.
Yes, Jamil, you did call it. You said that. You was right, baby.
A role in their decision to send a message with this sentence, which it appears that they did. Sean, I thought that was a very astute comment about it. It's actually, the lifespan of Austin Metcalf. I don't know if that played in their decision or not. From what Bree said, they may not have been able to consider how long the sentence would be, or how much time would be served. But it's an interesting observation.
And it's something that I've seen in some other trials. And when you do the math, it's like, oh, well, he was 17. So it's like they want him to serve this young man's lifespan. And for that to happen, the sentence had to be 35 years. Again, I thought that it might have been longer. So in that regard, I kind of was surprised because I really thought, I mean, Worski, he didn't give him a number, but he several times he said there's already been some life sentences handed out. Yeah. Hand out another one, give a lengthy sentence. And so I thought that it would have been long.
And they said that that area, Collin County, they're very prejudiced, they're very racist, and it's a sundown town. So we expect from those type of people of those caliber of white people to send him to the moon like they did. I mean, that's just it is what it is. I mean, it's a sundown town. There's not no fairness in their court system there. I wish they would have moved it to another court district, another court, a different court in a different area, so he could have really got a fair trial. But y'all, let's continue.
uh, it's a lengthy time. I mean, I was, Brie, I remember what you said about, you know, being surprised about the defense not putting anyone up on the stand.
Hey, John Burke, how are you? Long time no see. How are you? Welcome.
This young man that Carmelo was 17 years old when this happened. And even though, there are a number of really bad facts, I mean, he took a knife to a track meet. We heard that had never happened before. And another thing too is a lot of people who may not live in this area, and even if they do, they may not understand that Collin County is considered.
Hold on, y'all. Somebody said we need Dr. Umar. What Dr. Umar gonna do, y'all? What is Dr. Umar gonna do? Umar finesse 3 times? Y'all know Umar finesse 3 times. I stay on his badunkadonk, y'all. He's over there. Hold on, y'all. He's over there waxing. He's over there trying to get that schoolhouse ready. We're trying to figure out where he got this money from. But y'all, let's not talk. Let's I go on and on for Umar for this 3 times. But y'all, let's continue. Smash the like button, y'all. Let's get more likes in the building.
His brain, his prefrontal cortex is not fully formed or anything like that.
And do you have any thoughts or any ideas as to why that didn't happen?
I don't at this point, except I will say that I know there was a GoFundMe. I'm sure it, paid for some of the funds of the defense. I don't know what access the family has to funds for the defense. I mean, when you're talking about a neuropsych evaluation, bringing in experts, that type of thing, it's not inexpensive. And that might not have been an issue. They might have had plenty of money to proceed, but that is one thing that came to mind when I was thinking about it. The defense attorneys are well experienced. I'm sure there there are good reasons. We just don't know what they are yet.
Okay, Allison, we're going to ask you to stay with us. And right now we're going to listen to some of the people who are outside the courtroom to get their reaction.
I don't understand why it happened. I don't understand why it escalated to this point. I'm sorry for their family, for their loss, but I am also crying and sorry for the family that just lost Karmelo for 35 years for sitting and getting out of the rain at a track meet he was in at 17 years old. The prosecutor, Bill Worski, talked about how the jury should not be worried about giving 99 years to life because it can be a life for a life. And if that's what we're going to, I don't know where we're going as a nation. It breaks my heart. There was a shared friend that actually said on the stand that this was an accident, and I can't deliver all of the reasons, including the medical examiner, the trajectory of the 3.5-inch knife, and even where Carmelo stayed seated the entire time and then was cowered over. There was some suggestion of impalement. And based on a few of those different things, that is very much possible. And so this was not something where he stood up and went and stabbed him in the heart. And I'm going to say that too. I agree. I agree.
He did not do this on purpose. He did not do this intentionally. He was trying to protect himself.
Community. That's why I needed to be here. I've raised 6 Black male sons in Collin County over the past 26 years. What I would say on behalf of Carmelo's family, they were praying before we went in. And so I know that they would want a message for peace and for prayer. I know they would not want people acting violently. I can tell you that their demeanor the entire time. These are very peaceful people. Carmelo was a very peaceful person. The mutual contact, and I don't know if he's 18, so I'm not going to say his name. So I'll say the mutual contact that invited him into the tent to get out the rain. He got on the stand and tried to say, I don't really know the kid. I've only seen him 2 to 3 times. And the defense then all of a sudden brought up anywhere from 8 to 10 photos of different family events with the two of them together. And it wasn't some kid that I didn't know. But even with that, they allowed him to continue to testify and give weight.
And they were saying he lied. So how you going to tell the jury, I mean, be on the stand telling, getting questioned and lie and say you don't know Carmelo when the mom was taking pictures of Carmelo and this boy numerous of times. So he lied. And I don't understand how they let that fly, y'all. They were trying to railroad him to show like you don't mess with our people. And I'm talking about those type of like white people. But let's continue, guys.
All around was heartbreaking. And it makes me wonder where we're going as a nation. So there's so much more that can be said from today going all the way back to last Monday. I had hope that Collin County was going to do this fairly.
It was pure survival.
I really did. I wanted to believe again. I wasn't even sure if Carmelo was guilty or innocent because I wasn't team Carmelo or team Austin. I was team, I want the truth. I want facts, truth.
Exactly.
I didn't know if he was innocent or guilty. I didn't know if the state and the judge was going to play this fair. I didn't know that until Saturday. On Saturday, I knew where this was going to go. And I had to tell my son that was attending with me. It's like maybe he could still get off because this I don't care about the facts and the law. And they didn't care about the facts.
So emotions are very high. People have very
Deborah.
deep rooted opinions.
Strong opinions.
Yes. And they're not going to change on either side. Um, these are the kinds of moments, though, that really, as I've said before, kind of show us what's bubbling right underneath the surface on both in our society, Clarice, just period. In our society, there's pain all around. Listen,
And yeah, there is pain around, of course, on both sides. Austin, his life was lost. Carmelo's life was lost to being sentenced for a very long time. And to me, like I said, Austin pushed Carmelo first. You always keep your hands to yourself. We tell our kids that all the time. All the time. Let's continue.
was gone. The impact of his death is permanent. Uh, his mother, Megan Metcalf, took the stand. From the moment the boys were born, they were my world house, filled with two energetic, living souls, loving souls. Now,
Thank you, New Hop. Thank you for the gift. Thank you.
screams. Now I only have videos in memory of his laugh, seeing his identical twin without his brother, an empty room, an empty bed, reminded Austin is gone forever. And so you certainly feel a mother's broken heart. Her child is gone.
Very deep and permanent pain.
Yeah. And these are the kinds of heartbreaking moments that stay in a community, I believe, stay in a society.
So the reaction has been very personal on the ground at the courthouse. And we're hearing very personal reactions from the victim impact statements inside the courthouse. So this is a day that is a deeply personal day for so many people, not only in Collin County, but in our region and in this part of our state.
Austin Metcalf's mother continues speaking directly to Camilo Anthony, she says to him, my conversations are one-sided, sitting at his grave because I will never hear his voice again. Instead of walking beside me, he is walking above me. He was murdered. He was taken from us just as he was starting to really live. She says to Anthony, you may have been given a sentence of 35 years. You should feel lucky. I've been sentenced to a lifetime without my son.
Yeah, it is, D dot. It's crazy. You know, people are upset on both sides, but it's sad because, like I said, 35 years, it's a lot. Austin did lose his life. That's sad. It's a lot. So it's sad. It's sad. But at the end of the day, like I said, I'm still going to stand on what I'm saying. Is Austin should have never put his hands on Carmelo. That's where the physical situation all started. But y'all, let's continue to listen.
Pain is a heart whipped out. And yet, for a family who has done everything to raise their child correctly, and he's a smart kid, and he's got scholarship offers, and he's a great football player, and he has, in a moment, made a decision that has altered so many lives. And for us, we know we have a good kid. We're fighting for his life as well. It is the kind of, it's like a gulf that'll never be closed, if you will, in the hearts of these people.
It's a tragedy for two families.
Yeah. And
that
and
have
the community.
changed forever.
Right. And then there are those who will always question what has happened, how and why, and the questions that people don't have answers to. It is 7:59, 8 o'clock now at KDFW-TV Dallas Fort Worth. I'm Sean Rabb with Clarice Tinsley and Amelia Jones, and Deion England, and Lori Brown, and a host of our photographers in McKinney for the trial, much anticipated, covered internationally, the trial of Karmelo Anthony. Today found guilty and tonight sentenced to 35 years for the murder of Austin Metcalf. Okay. Let's see, who do we want to bring in now? Who do you want to bring back to talk for us a minute?
We had Allison. Allison, we last talked to you when it's a trial like this and it's a trial that's so notable. In your experience, have you found that the jury or certain jury members want to talk about what they experienced, what they went through? Do they want to share this with the community, the wider community?
Well, it depends on the type of trial, of course. In this case, because even though we haven't seen any violence break out, thankfully, at this point, some of the jurors may be afraid. They might be afraid to give out their information. They might be willing to talk to the attorneys. Sometimes we see that, but they might need a moment to process this whole thing themselves. I mean, we've only been in this trial for what, 8 days? So they've gone through a lot in the last 8 days, and they may come out later. I mean, I know there were people at the Collin County Courthouse when I was there today who were filming documentaries, and they'll probably have a lot of opportunities to talk about it in the future. Right now, it might just be a little too much.
We have a victim impact statement from the father, who was Austin Metcalf, a boy, a twin, a son, a friend, a leader, a true warrior. Since the first day he grabbed my finger, he had my heart with it. First fish to watch both my sons on the field at the same time was such a blessing. Amazing the impact you had in such a short time. All your teammates looked up to you. Your brother did you proud this year. Your mother was all in, started a scholarship in memory of Austin. I was proud of you when you found God and put him in your life. Your faith carried you to the gates of heaven, and we don't get to see you achieve your goals. We were robbed. To suffer such a loss is tragic. The public response sickens me. With a gag order, can't defend myself when people want to tear down my son's memory. That time is over. I said it from day one. This was never about race. Austin Metcalf's father, tonight.
Wow. Wow.
It's all about right and wrong. We are all humans. We all bleed the same color.
Wow.
You will face those consequences starting today.
There's quite a bit of people that's still there too.
It's a lot to uh, take in. I would say for the jurors, they'll have to deep.
D dot says a lie. D dot you is a mess.
Um, Trials like these can be emotionally stressful for the reporters who are in the courtroom for days, and you hear it all, and you're there between both plaintiff, the complainant's family, and the defendant, and see it all, and you hear it all, and you take.
Deborah for the gift. Thank you. Thank everybody for the gift. Thank all of my mods and thank everybody that's in the building. Whether everybody has an opinion, and I like to let everybody, of course, have an opinion because at the end of the day, we're entitled to our opinion. Just I ask just to be respectful. Everybody's not gonna agree, and that's okay. Like everybody in life is not, even with your partners, you don't agree with everything that they say. And you shouldn't, because you should be entitled to your own opinion, right? I do believe that. But y'all, let's continue.
Um, let's talk to Bree for a moment, Bree West for a moment. So this, as a 19-year-old defendant, do you hear what's happening to you at this moment? Do you hear the victim impact statements? Do they resonate with you at this moment?
I think that when I have young clients, and we get to this point in the process, they are, sort of numb to what's going on. And all, I mean, is he hearing the victim impact statements ultimately, but is he processing what's being said to him? I don't think so. That's something that
Yeah, D dot, I agree.
I know that he, undoubtedly feels the weight of not only kind of what has happened, but his conviction and his sentence, and sort of that's where you are. And I don't know that that's an inappropriate place to be. I think that there's a reason that victim impact statements are held after a verdict.
Hey, T2 Cups, welcome in. How are you? Drake Stash Mustache, my nephew says, let's be real. If it was the other way around, white dude to be at dinner right now. That's true. I agree. I agree. Let me say this real quick because, like I'm saying, there's like the white America that is white America who is for doing what's right and sees the injustice that black people go through. Then there's a white America that will put a black person up under the prison for, like, even if they stole a candy bar, for the smallest minute things. So people have to see really what's going on. It is what it is. Black people have been treated bad for a long time, but as the years have gone on, that white America that sees the injustice that the other part of white America is doing to the black people, those are the ones speaking out, just like the lawyer. The lawyer, he was like, no, he was mad at the judge, calling the judge stupid, dumb. Why didn't he have cameras? And this was a white man. There's a lot of white people, white America, and that says that there's black people that saying that Carmelo should have got what's his name, Whit is it Jason Whitlock or something like that? He's like a black racist person. They said even Anton Daniels, like, same thing. Can't what's her name, something G. I mean, there's black people that are like racist to their own people too. So I'm just saying, there is people who want right for right, and people who want just, oh, send them through, just because he's this, just because he's that. But y'all, I'm telling you, this story and this situation was not fair to me at all. And like I said, I don't care what color you were, because if it was like my nephew said, Drake Stash Mustache said, if the roles were reversed, um the Metcalf boy, he probably would be at dinner, be at home right now. I mean, look at the injustice that we have seen in the black community with like Trayvon Martin. He was unarmed, and what's his name? The guy Zimmerman, he got off. Look at Chow. He shot a black young boy that was unarmed. There's no way you could tell me that you felt like this young little boy had a weapon and he was gonna shoot you. He took the waters out of the refrigerator and then he put the waters back. That didn't constitute him losing his life. So y'all, and I'm not saying nothing is wrong. Nobody's life being taken is right. I'm not saying that. But when you like, I could see if Carmelo Anthony had a pow pow and just pow powed him up or whatever. I would be like, I would feel different. And even if he was a white boy, whoever, I'm just saying the situation. Period. But there's a lot of injustice, of course. With black people being given like being sent to the moon for things that people of other races are just walking free. Let's just be for real. Let's be honest. But y'all, let's continue listening and seeing what's going on over here in Dallas. Let's continue, y'all. Sort of being in their grief and figuring out how to move forward with their lives. It's a very sad process. And the reality of the situation is, Carmelo Anthony, at the end of the day. And I think I want to say okay, let me rewind it real quick because the one on the left, the twin that's on the left, he does look like he's a little bit heavier. Let me see right here. That twin right there on the left, he does look, let me pause it. The one right here, he does look a lot bigger than him right here. So I'm thinking this must be Austin right here because he looks like a little chubbier, a little more heavy set. I think I may be wrong, but y'all, let's continue. Let me see. That process, and the reality of the situation is, Carmelo Anthony, at the end of the day, he was sentenced to 35 years at 19 years old. That is a huge chunk of his life, and he will feel the impact of the decision that the Collin County jury made today for 35 years. That is, yep, T2 cups all over a seat. Yeah. He pushed him first. Austin pushed him first. I'm sorry. I won't steer away from that because I don't go to Walmart or go somewhere in public and just start pushing people like get out of here. Da, da, da. He wasn't the police. He wasn't, he should have got somebody who was a parent, an adult, if this situation was so upsetting to him for Carmelo to be had been in the tent.
Choosing God, trying to understand why he had to go. Sorry. He took my brother, my best friend from this world, caused a lot of pain.
Nephew facts. Drake Stash, Mustache facts. Tory Lanez, 10 years. They be throwing the books at us in a way where you're like, man, this is crazy. But y'all, let's continue.
And the circumstances, Clarice,
And in his arms, he was right there.
I'm right there with you when you die this violent death.
Yes, yes.
And that's sad. It is. It's sad.
Dion, who is outside of the parking lot. Let's go to Dion now, which he has here with us.
They're doing a press conference. Let's see.
Yes, definitely. We are still stand. Hey, why aren't dishes?
Let's skip this commercial. Let's see. Go back.
They are going to remain here. If I had to guess, probably about 200 people, maybe more, kind of scattered throughout this parking lot. Most of those behind me here, close to the steps of the courthouse. It is, again, just a pendulum swinging back and forth when describing the mood here and the tension that is moving through. It is not clear if everyone.
Oh, thank you, GK. GK Gaming says, I love your stream. Thank you so much. And welcome to the lounge. We love everybody here. And we want everybody to have their own opinion. It's okay as long as you are respectful. But thank you and welcome. And welcome everybody. Smash the like button and subscribe to my channel, y'all.
The case, and I definitely affirm that for him. But just a sign here that not everyone out here is aware of the sentence. We still have a good presence of law enforcement. We've got people that are close to where the perimeter is in front of the courthouse. You've got some people that were still kind of talking on microphones. There was one man delivering the gospel, was basically telling everyone out here to turn to the word of God. He will take care of your pain. He will take care of your distress. So just a mix of happenings here. You've got different groups that.
And what I did like, you guys, there were some big YouTubers like JLR. He went out there. He's a white guy, big YouTuber, and he went to them, a group of a group of black people, and they had a sign, giving out free hugs and prayers. And he went over there. He hugged the people. He was praying with them, and I was like, that's what I like to see. People are people. Once we cut each other, anytime we cut ourselves, we all bleed the same blood. But let's be for real, let's be honest. There is a lot of injustice that the black community has been seeing for years. It is what it is. I treat everybody like how I want to be treated. I have friends of all different colors, and my family is made up of everybody. Thanksgiving is everybody around the map at our dinner table. So this situation, with some of the things that I seen, it made my heart like just melt, just seeing people, like, people kind of joining in together and trying to, get over this situation, get through this situation, not over it, but getting through this situation together. But like I said, at the same time, I still feel the way I feel, and I'm entitled to my opinion, as everybody is. But it's sad all the way around, because nobody deserves to lose their life, period, and point blank.
Are paying very close attention to what's going on out here because the tension is moving back and forth, back and forth. For now, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Dan, thanks for giving us that update. I'd like to bring Bree back in. Bree,
Now,
Brown is in.
now I may be wrong, you guys. Uh-oh. Okay, I may be wrong, but what I was being told is that he had a public defender. Now I don't know if that is correct, and correct me if I'm wrong. Look, I like to check myself if I am wrong about giving out information, because this is information that I've researched or whatever. But I believe they said he had a public defender. I may be wrong, but that's what I heard. That's the information that I got. And the GoFundMe, they said they weren't able to touch the GoFundMe because Carmelo had a public defender. Now I don't know how true it is, but I see some people in the chat were saying that they had a lawyer. The lawyer was a paid lawyer, so I'm not sure. Now don't quote me on that, but that's just the information that I got. If I'm wrong, I don't mean to steer nobody off, but this is why I was like, is that why he only called one witness up there? But hold on, you guys, there's something going down. Hold up, y'all. Look, something's going down.
You get fingerprinted and photographed and all of these kinds of things. All of that is going to happen for Carmelo Anthony now. He's going to be transported by the sheriff's department to the Collin County Jail. He will be processed through the intake department. He will be changed out and dressed out into jail clothes. And as of today, he will begin his sentence of 35 years.
And that's happening now, and then he will be at the Collin County Jail until the Texas Department of Corrections brings the bus.
I don't know what this is.
That's right. So, yes.
And make their pickups.
Oh, I don't know if that's a found.
That's exactly right. So most people will process through Huntsville, which is sort of like a processing transfer type of facility. So he will get picked up from the Collin County Jail along with any other defendant that's been sentenced to prison. They come, once or twice a week. It depends on how busy your jail is in Dallas County. They come pretty often. And they will pick up all of the inmates that have been sentenced to TDC or sentenced to the Texas Department of Criminal Justice Institutional Division. They will be taken to their processing center, which is generally Huntsville, not always Huntsville, but generally Huntsville, where you're going to get processed, you're going to get classified. There's going to be a determination of sort of what level of, confinement that you need.
I don't know if this lady is a grandma. I'm not sure, but she seemed like she's a little upset or saying something. But y'all, let's continue.
he goes to TDC for some period of time. He's very young, so that has to be taken into consideration. So there's a lot of factors that the not only the jail but TDC has to factor in, because they actually have a responsibility, as they should, to ensure that while Carmelo Anthony is in their custody, whether it be the Collin County Jail or the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, that Carmelo Anthony remains safe. And so they have to classify him to ensure that they're putting him in the most appropriate place where he can remain safe as he begins to serve his sentence. Now, again, even though all of that's going to happen, it's important that everybody understand that there's a bunch of other things that are happening in the background as it relates to, again, you have to file your notice of appeal, you have to file your notice for new trial, you have a bunch of stuff that you have to do that are happening in the background, even though Carmelo Anthony's trajectory is that he's headed straight to TBC, he will also, his lawyers will also take care of a whole bunch of other things that are protecting his rights as he goes through the system.
And
Wow.
we don't know when he will go to TDC. That's always a secret as well. The train, as it is called, or the chain, can come in the middle of the night or 6 in the morning. There's no notification for, as you might well imagine, security reasons, Clarice, that happens the way it does.
And there's just one more victim impact statement from Hunter, just concluding. He says, he took my brother, my best friend from this world, caused a lot of pain, took who was supposed to be the uncle to my kids. Now I want everything taken from you. You let the devil take over. You still have air while my brother is 6 feet under. My brother's legacy will live on. You are a shallow man for what you did. You took everything from me. I wake up every morning. His door is still shut. My mom crying herself to sleep. Dad can't talk to his son anymore.
Wow.
And I think that you can clearly see, right, that oftentimes in these victim impact statements, because they're designed to kind of put on this process.
We're taking a look at the Anthony family leaving the courthouse right now.
What he was saying earlier, but she was outside the class.
Oh, she's saying racist.
Nathan sign, yeah, with her two hands. Okay, Bree, please continue.
Well, just only
There's a lot of people out there, y'all, but let's continue listening.
interesting thing to see. It did sound like, I mean, it did, and I just want to take a moment to address what was just on the screen.
Yeah.
She was making a heart sign with her hands, it appeared, but then it sounded like she was yelling racist and biased.
I think she said
So I'm
that.
not sure if that
Yeah, I think she did. I would say turn on the volume.
indicated.
The-
Oh, oh, Jesus.
that
Wow.
seems to be, if that's what we were hearing.
Wow.
Disappointment,
Yeah.
whatever you wish to call it, over
Wow.
a decision that's been rendered.
Yeah. And I think that, again, because victim impact statements are meant to put a period, I think that what you often hear is the anger. I'm so angry at you, defendant, for what you did to me, what you did to my family, what you did to my loved one. And really just sort of expressing, sort of that I think that even Mr. Metcalf's father said it, grief is rage, right? And so I think that what they're experiencing is this rage and the ability to finally sort of let it out.
Yes, it is. Big Diesel said sad for both families. Yes, because nobody wins. Let's be for real. Let's be honest. Nobody wins in these situations. It's sad on both ends. But y'all, let's continue to listen because there's quite a few people still at the courthouse.
Will help them do that, and this family can move forward while Carmelo Anthony's family will continue, the process of appeals and the very natural process. It is extremely natural and very important to continue the criminal justice process after a sentence. It is important to appeal, it is important to preserve your rights. It has nothing to do with anything other than this is a part of the legal process. It happens in every case, and this case should be.
Mama K, I'm shocked too. I am shocked, Mama K.
Saying she's going to the news conference. So we were wondering, Sean, if there was going to be a news conference, if
Right.
both lawyers or the defense or prosecution or both were going to talk tonight. And so Lori, our reporter, saying she is getting ready to go to that news conference.
Yeah, so not uncommon. You put the
Yeah.
microphones there on the stand, and um, one comes out. Usually, the team that has lost, if you will, come out first and speak, and the others wait. In this case, the prosecution would wait and likely wait and come out. I'm speaking about what happens normally at Dallas County, how it works down there.
Lori's saying that the Metcalfs will be at the news conference.
Oh,
That the
Metcalf will be at the news.
the family will be at the news conference.
Okay.
Yes.
And again,
So we'll be bringing that to you.
just saw the family of Carmelo Anthony leaving. And again, you might would understand that, not wanting to stand there and answer questions tonight from the media.
Wow. So they're having a press conference. I'm wondering when or what time, but we're going to continue bringing this live coverage to you guys.
That the victim's family in a murder prosecution often stands with the criminal, with the DA's office, with the prosecutors that prosecuted the case.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen that as a very common practice, even in Dallas County.
Yes, because when you were a prosecutor, you held the hand of those families that you represented, and you came alongside and you learned their story, and their loved one became your loved one as you represented them. And so, yeah, uh, prosecutors are counselors, and I don't mean legal counselors; they're emotional counselors for the families of the victims that they're fighting for. And that's part of it. And you know what? Nothing in life is as real as these moments are. There is nothing more emotionally real than these moments, from the untimely death of a loved one by
Yes.
violence
Yes.
to the dispensation of that case through a trial. All of the emotion, the anxiety, the tears, the fighting for a long penalty or fighting for forgiveness and freedom. Nothing in life compares to the realness of this moment.
So true. Do we still have Allison with us? Allison, I'm wondering, in your experience, have you found that jury members want to reach out to the families that are involved and talk to them or share something with them or just commiserate with them?
I have seen that before. And, sometimes they wait to see the family and they go and give them encouragement.
Oh, this is the first time I ever heard of this, you guys. I didn't know jurors will reach out to the Okay, maybe to the Anthony family or the Carmelo. Let's listen.
The accusations of bias in this particular case, they may be a little more reluctant to do it because they don't want to be accused of delivering a biased verdict. So I don't know if it's something that would be meaningful to them personally. They may go ahead and do it, and they may try to reach out to them after the trial as well. I have seen that.
For people who haven't served on a jury, talk about how draining that can be, how important it is, what they're hearing, what they need to process, how important it is to be a member of a jury, and why we need that.
Oh, it's the crux of our justice system. I mean, I personally have never
Look at old Pop Pop. Pop Pop said he getting his content, y'all. Y'all see Pop Pop? Pop Pop getting his content. Y'all, let's continue.
worked on, hundreds and hundreds of trials, and as I mentioned earlier last week, I believe that the jury gets it right most of the time. If they're allowed to hear the appropriate evidence and consider it, um, I, I still believe our jury system works. I mean, we've had some, ups and downs with COVID and that process, but I believe our jury system is alive and well. And, Carmelo Anthony does have access to the appeal process. That will be automatic. Some of the concerns that people have expressed will certainly be expressed through that process, part of our justice process, but I very much believe in it. And as far as the jurors go, this experience is very unusual for a juror because, first of all, courtroom communication is extremely unusual. I mean, if you think about it, you don't have many conversations with people where you just have to sit there and hope they say something that answers a question you have, or allows you to move forward in your thought process about something. You literally just have to sit there and listen. Physically, you have to show up usually pretty early. You have to go sit in on a chair that hopefully has some padding on it for, in this case, 9 to 6. Not dead. So it can be physically uncomfortable. I've seen people with, hip.
I don't know what's going on with their station, you guys.
you know, run errands or do anything, your life is put literally on hold. And the fact that they were able to move through this trial and give them 4 days back that they hadn't anticipated, the jurors probably appreciate that very much. But, the
Thank you. I think it's Marie. Let me see. Oh, Marie Johnson, thank you. Thank you for the gift. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Do you want it to go that fast? I mean, that's where some people work, but the defense only called 6 witnesses and stopped their testimony at that point, resting their case. Lorraine?
Right now, we have the mother of Carmelo Anthony. Okay, it's not the mother, it's the family of Carmelo Anthony responding to the verdict of 35 years. Let's listen.
We don't know exactly who that person is. We get told that from the family, Anthony. We don't know who they are. Um, but we heard that they were saying racist, biased, as they were referencing what has just happened with the trial and the sentencing. And of course, remember that family, the Anthony family, if in fact they are family members, that family received a torrent of.
How is it that they didn't have a camera in the courtroom, but now they're showing a courtroom with them in it? See, this is what I'm saying. Let me go back and find that court TV person, lawyer, that was saying he was upset because they didn't have cameras in the courtroom. See, this is the thing that I'm talking about. This is why I feel that Carmelo did not get a fair trial. But y'all, let's continue.
And we're waiting for the news conference. We're going to hear from the lawyers, and we're told that the Metcalf family members are there. So we're going to bring that to you as well as soon as that happens.
You are looking at the elected district attorney there for Collin County.
So this is a press conference, y'all. Let's see what they have to say.
Better if I'm kind of face.
Let's see what they got to say.
Looks like this may be starting very soon.
I think that's his dad to the right. And the mom. Look at, they don't even look like they like each other. Look at the mom. She's staying away like she don't like him. Look, she put the boy, look, she put the boy. Look, see that, look at, they don't even like each other. See the mother? The mother does not like the dad. You could tell, that's very evident. They said he's abusive from what I heard, and don't quote me on that, but I could tell the relationship does look like that. I mean, from what I see, it does look like that. But let's see what they have to say. Let me back it up, you guys.
Clerks, they're all joining. Let's see. This is what Bree was heard earlier about the prosecution and the family.
So then I have to use my class.
On the process. At the moment, I don't see Bill Worski. Let's see, where's Bill? Don't see him.
Let's see what they say.
All right. Good evening. I'm Greg Willis, Collin County District Attorney.
Uh-oh. Hold on, you guys. Let me skip this commercial real quick.
It struck a deep nerve in Collin County and far beyond. I asked our community to ignore all the noise and instead be level-headed and patient as the process worked. And today, the process delivered accountability. We are grateful to this jury, and we are grateful that the good citizens of Collin County had an opportunity to weigh in on this case. I'm proud of the exceptional work of Bill Worski and our team of prosecutors, DA investigators, and victim advocates, and all the good and outstanding men and women of the Collin County District Attorney's Office. We thank all the parents and their brave kids who did the right thing. Despite the trauma of witnessing the senseless murder at a school track meet, they cooperated fully and testified truthfully. Their courage was essential to securing justice in this case. I'm especially honored to be joined here today by Jeff and Megan Metcalf and their son Hunter. Their strength and grace through this has been their strength and grace throughout this unimaginable journey has been inspiring. They won't be taking questions at this time, but their presence here speaks volumes about their commitment to seeking justice for Austin. I want to thank Judge Rhodes for presiding over this trial with fairness and efficiency. I want to thank Frisco PD for their investigation. I want to thank the Collin County Sheriff's Office led by Sheriff.
Thank you, Jamil. Yes, y'all get the likes up.
Thank all law enforcement throughout the county for making this a safe trial for everyone. This verdict sends a clear message. Violence like this won't be tolerated in our Collin County community, and we remain committed to protecting our schools and standing with victims and their families. Thank you. Okay, that's it. Okay. Thank you, sir.
So you got a camera in the courtroom at the end of the trial, but not during the trial. I just don't get it. But y'all, let's continue listening.
Thank you, everyone who was involved in this trial, expressing gratitude as well to the jury. And we saw Jeff and Megan and Hunter, Metcalf Hunter,
Crazy, right, Jamil?
who had his brother die in his arms. They did not take questions, but they wanted to stand there to represent Austin Metcalf.
And we did not hear from First Assistant Bill Worski,
No.
who
Thank you, Scorpio, for the gift. Thank you. Jamil said, "Yeah, I see you got that gangster tattoo. Yeah, he's tatted all up. Tatted all up.
last week we did. Wanted to hear from him tonight. We did not.
Gangster.
Outside of their victim impact statements, they did not speak at this moment.
Thank you, Scorpio.
Yes, and loud.
When they did speak. Leaving the courtroom, and
let's see if we're going to hear from the defense team.
I wonder if
I would guess
they might
out of the courtroom already. I would think, unless they're in the defense room, if you will. There's a workroom. So in the Collin County Courthouse, when you enter the first set of double doors to either side, left and right, there are rooms. One is the prosecution workroom, one is the defense workroom. And then you come right out of those doors and you can enter right into the court. They could be in the workroom.
Okay.
With their clients or without. There you see, talking to.
Yes, Jamil. Yes, thank you.
They're talking to Greg Williams.
Yes. Right. Okay, so
Yeah.
just turned around.
There you
Used to be a reporter here at Fox 4, and he's retired. He was a PIO for the city of Plano. Retired, moved to Florida,
and they brought him back
because of this trial.
Yeah. So we're glad to see Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, I think it's Adam said both sides lost someone. You're right. Both sides lost someone. Like I said, it's sad. Nobody deserves to get their life taken from somebody else. I understand that totally and wholeheartedly, you guys. But at the same time, we all have been in situations where we maybe not made the best the best I guess judgment. But when you are surrounded by did y'all see that boy? He's a big boy. He's a huge boy. So Carmelo is smaller than that and thinner. So if he's surrounded by four boys in like a rap cipher, you would do what you had to do, no matter if it was a remote control, a cup, a cleat, a book. You would try to help and use whatever you could to fight if you were surrounded. We don't know what we would do in those situations until we're in that situation. So that's all I'm saying. We don't never know how if an alligator is chasing us. We don't know how we're gonna react. You think, okay, if an alligator chases me, I'm gonna do like this, I'm gonna do like that. Or if I get beat up, I'm gonna punch the person or do this like or do that. You never know until you're in that situation. And all of y'all know that this is just how it is. We react in different ways. Everybody is would react in a different manner. So that's my take on it. But let's continue listening.
So I do think that, certainly the district attorney's office in Collin County felt like this was a really important case. They very much wanted to make sure that they got it to a jury trial sooner rather than later. They very much believed that there was their goal, their part of their responsibility was to send a message to the Collin County community to say, and I think that Clarice, you even mentioned this earlier, that the message was very clear that this type of behavior is not going to be tolerated in Collin County. And then he went a step further and said, or in our schools. And I think that that was exactly what was the theme underneath the push that the Collin County District Attorney's Office had behind ensuring and pushing this case to trial. So I think that that's exactly what probably the community would have expected to hear from Greg Willis. We'll see, sort of how generally the community now responds. I think that there's a huge part of the Collin County community that is very conservative. And likely that resonated a lot. I do think that Collin County is also a very diverse community and getting more diverse by the year. So it'll be interesting to see sort of how the community writ large really does respond to those types of comments. At the end of the day, a 17-year-old boy lost his life and a 19-year-old boy is going to prison for 35 years. I mean, I think that this case is difficult across the board. But I do think that the Collin County District Attorney's Office absolutely gave the press conference that we would expect that they sought justice and they won.
And we're not going to hear from the defense team. And I don't know if that's a surprise or not, because what do you say?
No, we're not going to hear from the defense team because the defense team wasn't on their A game. I'm sorry. Everybody that I seen on my research, they're saying what kind of defense team. That's why they were saying that he got a public defender. I don't know how true it is, but some people are saying it was a paid lawyer. So I don't know. But needless to say, the defense only brought up one witness. Like you can't tell me there was other kids that knew Carmelo, Carmelo's friends, any teachers, any the coach, just more people that could have spoken on his behalf. It's mighty suspicious to me, y'all. If y'all are liking my live, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, y'all. We love everybody here at the lounge. Let's listen. Tremendously impressed you as well, right? Because you have worked with this family for over a year preparing for this trial, keeping hope in everybody's system. Oh, wait. Sherelle, I think it's Sherelle, or if I'm saying it right, Sherelle Allen, said that Austin is definitely a bully. Look at him. Yeah, he looked at nasty and mean, didn't he? He looked like he was about to knock his daddy out right now. He looking like he's really like angry. But not only that, I was looking at pictures and I was seeing a lot of pictures of them like looking angry. And I don't know how true this is, but they said that those twins beat the daddy up. And if you guys go back, I don't want to wrap it back right now, but if we wrap it back and look how the mother didn't want to stand by the father, and that is neither here nor there. But if you guys paid attention, it seemed like the mother don't want to have nothing to do with that man, with their father, because they said the father's not really in their life like that. That the mother was doing a lot of the raising of the, like, basically a single parent, a single mother. And shout out to her, because single being a single parent is not a easy thing. Single parents, they have to go to work, they have to do all this, they got to be the soccer moms, they got to take the kids to practice and do all this stuff like that. But it just looked like what people are saying, it did kind of look like that's what it was. And if he was like abusive or whatever, that's not neither here nor there, but I could tell and I could see it in where when they did the press conference.
Excuses. Mike Howard, professor, adjunct professor, teaching law.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you. Adam says, awesome news. Thank you. If you guys like my commentary and my reaction, please subscribe to my channel. We are on our way to 100,000 subscribers. And y'all, we is family over here. No matter if you're white, black, purple, Indian, Mexican, Korean, Asian, we love everybody here at the lounge. And doesn't matter what your sexual preference is, your religion, whatever, we love each other over here at the lounge. But y'all, let's continue.
Never really showed it. Something happened under that tent. And they could not, in the best of arguments, help me if I'm wrong, Bree, they could not, in the best of their arguments, convince those jurors that this was self-defense.
Well, I think you're exactly right, Sean. I think that, you do.
Yep, I love all white people too that are loving to me. Absolutely. My son-in-law is white and he's been in the family for years and we love him to death. So yes, I love everybody. My nieces and nephews, Mexican and black. I have white in-law, nephew-in-laws, niece-in-laws. So my family is really, really mixed, you guys. Really, really mixed. No cap.
Great not feel the pain that Austin Metcalf's family is feeling. Because even if you didn't have to have testimony to express that pain, there's no way that the people sitting on that jury wouldn't have felt it. So the uphill battle, whether it be about self-defense or it be about manslaughter or it be about other lesser included offense, the uphill battle is how do you remove the emotion? How do you train a jury in 5 days to say, even though this is hard, even though this is emotional, this is the law and it has to be applied. And that is a unbelievably difficult task. And I agree, Toby Shook, Mike Howard, some of the absolute, sorry, that's my watch, some of the absolute best attorneys, sort of that represent people across the Metroplex,
Yeah.
And do outstanding work. And this was tough and under the best of circumstances. And so that was the real battle here. How do you help people to understand that despite the emotion, you can follow the law and you might be able to apply self-defense, or you might be able to have found somebody guilty of manslaughter instead of murder? That was the heavy lift, and that was unfortunately things didn't turn out their way, but I think that they put on the best case that they could with what they had.
And Allison, when we talked to you just a few minutes ago, you said you felt that the issue of school safety would also be an element that the jury was going to be looking at and thinking about, and that's what the DA Greg Willis touched on tonight when he made his comments just a few minutes ago.
I mean, that's what I thought about. And when I heard about the makeup of the jury and that there were several mothers on that jury, many people talked about and
Yes, like I said, it's sad on all ends, but we have to see and really be clear and transparent. There is racism still that exists. Like I said, there is black people that is racist against their own people. I mean, y'all, Jason Whitlock, other people that are, YouTubers and big YouTubers that they don't like their own people. And the same thing for some, white people that don't like their own, and it's probably in all races, you guys. So, it people, like they were saying, was it yesterday, when there was YouTubers and different, like TikTokers and Facebookers or whatever, they were just basically saying, and people out there, from the community were just saying, like, we should treat each other how we want to be treated. Treat people how you want to be treated. It doesn't matter about what color you are, what your race, ethnicity is, sexual preference, religion. Just treat people, as you want to be treated. That's it.
That if there's a little chest bumping going on, that somebody won't pull out a knife and stab someone in the heart. I think that's probably part of the message, because otherwise, what do you do? How do you send a message about how much you care about the safety of your children? And this was a rare opportunity for them to do that if they looked at it that way. We don't know if that occurred to them or not, but it was mentioned.
It was mentioned, and even though the knife itself is a legal knife in the state of Texas, 3.5 inch blade or whatever, it was against school policy.
Right.
And that also could be something that didn't get lost in testimony, that it was against policy. And so that's also something that could have weighed in the minds of jurors. We don't know. We didn't hear from jurors yet tonight, and we may not hear from them, but um, clearly, as difficult as it may have been, and even though it didn't seem like it was that long based on the information they had to consume, perhaps the timing is what it was supposed to have been. Um, but maybe if it wasn't, 3 days of wrangling over how long it should be, it still was very difficult for them to reach the numbers they came with tonight, I believe.
Yes, I'm sure. One thing I have experienced as a trial consultant is that jurors take their job seriously. They don't just go in and have a show of hands and say, "Well, we're going to call it a day." They take it very seriously. They usually read over the charge. They might take a number of different votes. I believe they were able to take notes in this trial. They may have debated different points. I mean, if they were going to, um, you know, find for self defense, then it's less likely it would have taken that long. A lot of times, if it's a verdict for the defendant, not always, but sometimes they come back with a verdict maybe somewhat quickly. In this case, they did spend 3 hours on it, and I think they probably very carefully considered. But again, they didn't have a lot of evidence.
Yeah, I want to say again that they said, because there was a lawyer I was watching earlier, and he looked up Frisco, Texas, and he said he read it on the website. I don't know where, maybe he Googled it, but he was reading it on the live, and he said Frisco is a sundown town. They're very racist, they're very prejudiced. So it is a thing to me that you didn't have cameras. And the reason why you didn't have cameras, I believe, is because you didn't want to really see what's going on, because the dad was leading witnesses while they were testifying. And if that was the case, everybody would have seen that. So, there's a reason to why they didn't want and do a lot of different things. And this is why I say that black people still are treated unfairly in a lot of different cases, in a lot of different situations. So this town right here, like I said, it says sundown town. They know that it's a sundown town. They know it's very racist. It's very racist and very prejudiced there. So it's a known thing. It's a known fact that blacks have a hard time there in Frisco, Texas, which is, I think it's north of Dallas, I believe. But y'all, let's continue listening.
They went right to crux of the matter instead of debating the finer points of what the jury charge said, as opposed to what they thought they were deciding.
Yeah, they said it's a sundown town. Actually, let me while this is playing, let me look it up for you guys, and I kind of read it to you guys. Let me let this play.
9 minutes away. So they are trying to get people out of the parking lot. It won't be closed at 9. There are too many cars that don't appear to have anyone in them yet. Ignitions haven't been turned, but they are trying to get people out of the parking lot and get that closed as soon as possible. Their hope was 9 o'clock, but it won't happen by then. We're 9 minutes from that, Clarice.
Yeah, I think Dion did tell us, like earlier, there were about 100 people there, and then after the verdict came in, she said maybe about 200. So more people did come in
Right.
just a few hours ago. But now you're seeing the cars. There are some cars that are leaving, and people are
And
going back to their homes.
maybe Allison can help us understand the psyche there. You've seen it before in cases where you've assisted as the jury consultant and you've stayed through the trial, and people come for the moment of decision. People show up. Why is that? What draws us like a magnet to that moment, Allison?
Well, I think, one of the things that Bill Worski said in the closing was that this is a statement from the community. And then we heard this woman who spoke earlier tonight, and she was very well spoken. And she said, I've been showing up with my children, because it's part of my community. I've lived in Collin County a long time. In this case, it was a little unusual because we saw a lot of people who really made a point to let everyone know they had flown in and they were coming from areas, all over the country. And I think, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have different opinions, but either
Uh-oh. Yes, I'm trying to find this, but in the meantime, like I said, people are, divided, and it's okay. Everybody has their, entitled to their own opinion, which everybody rightfully so. But at the end of the day, we see everybody, and everybody sees through the mess and the BS that, like, things like this that go on, that when a black person is done wrong, especially in a sundown community, a sundown town, I mean, we see people, even like I said, everybody sees when stuff is not right. Discrimination, yes, discrimination, racial injustice. You see the grandmother, I believe that was a grandmother, was saying racial bias. Racist, I think. Racist and bias. Yes, I believe that they are very racist down there, because Neek at night, too, she had a problem at the courthouse, and the police were acting like nothing happened. And she's a big YouTuber. She's a black YouTuber. Her and Queen Sheba were down there, and they were having a hard time down there with this white lady. Her name is Sarah, but she's like a known racist, and I believe a part of the KKK, and a part of all of that type of stuff. And she was giving them a hard time, and then they went to go tell the police, and like the police weren't doing anything. So they had to call the Black Panthers in yesterday just to surround her, to make sure that nothing, her and her goons weren't doing anything to the black YouTube females. But y'all, let's continue.
This trial, and we're going to now replay his comments for you so you can hear from the district attorney again.
Good evening. I'm Greg Willis, Collin County District Attorney. Today, justice was served. A year ago, when this senseless murder unfolded, I said that it had struck a deep nerve in Collin County and far beyond. I asked our community to ignore all the noise and instead be level-headed and patient as the process worked. And today, the process delivered accountability. We are grateful to this jury, and we are grateful that the good citizens of Collin County had an opportunity to weigh in on this case. I'm proud of the exceptional work of Bill Worski and our team of prosecutors, DA investigators, and victim advocates.
And see, look at the way the twin is looking. Like, he looks like mean, like something is not right. But when they gathered before, when they were gathering there, you could tell there's some a situation with the dad. Like, the dad, he must been, they, and from what I heard, this is neither here nor there, but they said the dad was very abusive. So maybe the boys, because they said the twin boys beat the dad up, and maybe they beat the dad up because he was probably abusive to the mom. The mom was probably trying to do her best being a single mom. That's probably why she maybe even divorced him, because he was very, maybe, very, very abusive. But y'all, let's continue.
It's been inspiring. They won't be taking questions at this time, but their presence here speaks volumes about their commitment to seeking justice for Austin. I want to thank Judge Rhodes for presiding over this trial with fairness and efficiency. I want to thank Frisco PD for their investigation. I want to thank the Collin County Sheriff's Office led by Sheriff Skinner for providing the security for the courthouse. I want to thank all law enforcement throughout the county for making this a safe trial for everyone. This verdict sends a clear message. Violence like this won't be tolerated in our Collin County community, and we remain committed to protecting our schools and standing with victims and their families. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Mm-mm-mm.
That was the Collin County District Attorney just a few minutes ago. Karmelo Anthony sentenced to 35 years in prison for the murder of Austin Metcalf. He'll need to serve Sean at least 17 and a half years.
Yeah. Again, the age of Austin Metcalf at the time of his death, 17 and a half. And so he will have to serve, the sentence is 35 years. He'll have to serve 17 and a half years of that before he's eligible for parole. Doesn't mean he's going to get paroled first time up.
Right.
And also depends on what happens the first 17 and a half years he's in prison. And prison's not an easy place for anyone. It's very hard. And it'll be a difficult walk.
We want to thank Bree West, criminal defense attorney, and Allison Richardson, jury consultant, for their expertise tonight. And of course, our Fox 4 team, Amelia Jones, Lori Brown, Alex Boyer, covering the trial from the very beginning. Beyond Anglin. Excellent work from them. And Sean, you're going to be with Steve Eager in our 9 o'clock newscast.
I will.
So we invite you to join us on Fox 4 News at 9 and 10. And we want to thank you for being with us here in the digital studio as we continue our coverage of this day. Very important, momentous day in North Texas.
Wow. Let's see what they're let me see. Let's see what they're doing. I guess they're probably pretty much trying to end the night. Trying to end the night. Wow. Wow, we, y'all. Hold up. Wow, we. It's sad. It is so sad. 35 years, 35 years, 35 years. Sad. The young gentleman, Austin, lost his life. That is sad too. But I don't believe that he took that weapon there with the intentions to unalive anybody. And I don't think in that town, I wouldn't think that none of those kids probably would even do that. I'm sure if they would have did 100% check on all of those kids, I know some of them other kids had stuff in their bags, you know, different knives and other things like that. Because you don't know, some people probably, some of them kids probably like fishing and doing other stuff like woodwork and just having a knife, maybe even just to cut some fruit for lunch or something. I don't think that like I just don't think that he had that knife. And that was another question for me. Like he had a knife in his pocket, but I think a lot of people, I used to carry a knife too, but I wasn't carrying the knife to, for protection because I don't be getting into no drama or no mess. It was just in case I get in a car accident, which I got in a bad car accident in October. So it wasn't never to use it as a weapon. So not all people carry a knife, a small pocket knife, to do any hurt, harm, and danger to anybody. And I'm not giving an excuse as to why he had that knife, but I'm just saying in general, a lot of these teens have little knives and stuff like that. Not to say, like I said, they're trying to go and intentionally hurt or do anything to anybody. But y'all, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, it's just sad all the way around. Um it's really sad. It is sad. It's really, really, really sad. It's really sad. So I don't know what's gonna come out of this. I don't know when he would be able to, or when they will, I guess, apply for do the appeal or whatever. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know, y'all. It's sad all the way around. It's terrible. It's really, really terrible. But I don't know. We'll see what happens, y'all. We'll see what happens. But if you like my commentary, subscribe to the channel. Cause we be going everywhere. We went to the Diddy trial. We were planning on going to this trial, but it was already too late. They was like, we had planned to go later on this week, but we didn't know that it was gonna end like this early. But we'll find another trial. We'll find another trial. There's so many different trials, and I love to go to trials. The Diddy trial was crazy. The Diddy trial was it was crazy. Especially when the lady crashed out. The lady crashed out, you guys, in the federal court building, like literally, like from right here where I'm sitting to, you see the door right here? Our backs, me and Jamil's backs, and Queen, one of the other, YouTubers, we were sitting there. And then this lady, they called her, I forget what they called her. The something, whatever, if you guys are in New York, what is the name of you guys' train? The train. They called her like because she will always have that badge on them. They called her the MTA lady. They called her the MTA lady. So she was sitting next to us, right next to us. And she came in the courtroom before the judge was already on the stand, but they were kind of doing their like morning notes and like, catching up and like, just a little bit of house cleaning. And this woman, she stands up and she says, "See, Diddy, this is why they're laughing at you." And Diddy was probably a little bit like maybe three times the length of this, like behind me. Like we were literally not far from Diddy, not far from all. We were like in the courtroom. It was a small courtroom. And this lady says this while the judge is on the stand, right before the judge was about to start court. And this lady comes, and this is why they're laughing at you, Diddy, and blah, blah, blah. So Diddy, he even turned around. And it was so crazy. And the federal agents, they had jumped up. And I was like, please, Lord, don't let them pull no pow-pows out. Like, please don't let them pull no pow-pows out. Because we were sitting literally like right in front of where she decided to crash out. And then ABC News, which I got that interview coverage where they interviewed her, and then let me see if I can find it. They were asking her, they were like, what's your name? And they were asking her all kind of questions or whatever. But she like literally like crashed out. She crashed out on them. Let me see if I can find it, because like I said, I gotta find now another trial. Do you guys have any recommended trials that we can follow? Now I heard the lawyer that I spoke with, she said there's a trial with, I think it's is it Massachusetts? And it's a cop and then some lady. I don't know how the story goes, but I said I'll be interested in seeing what that trial has what that trial has like going on. But it's that's a trial I want to see. And then I want to see also the OnlyFans. Do y'all know the OnlyFans story? That girl, she's an OnlyFans model. She was a big like OnlyFans model, and she unalived her boyfriend, and her boyfriend was he was black, she was white, but she, like, I guess threw the knife, I think, and unalived him. And then it was like really, really, really crazy. But that I want to go to that like follow up on that story too. Let me see if I see this lady, because she was this great lady at the Diddy trial. I'm telling you, it was crazy. Like the Diddy trial, it was crazy. They had the freak off mermaids, testifying, knowing that they were only fans girls, like 50 Cent baby mama was on the stand. I was like, oh my God, this ho 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 Merry Christmas. Acting like, oh, I was just trying to give Diddy everything that he wanted. No, 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 no. You was a ho 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 Merry Christmas during survival. That's me right here. Okay, this is me right here. Let's see. This is me right here.
New York City, and my baby about to go to Diddy Glover's trial. You know what I'm saying? I told you, she look like the district attorney. I'm telling you, they ain't gonna know, sweetheart. If you represent Diddy, if you the damn feds, if you the motherfuckers, if you his new lawyer, so you know he just hired a new, yeah, they gonna think it's you. You know what I'm saying? And they ain't gonna know what the hell I am either.
He is a mess. Oh, that's when we went to go hang out with hey, we don't stop. Hey. No, 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 no. Okay, let me stop before YouTube gets me. And that's me with of course, Snoop Dogg. So I went to Snoop Dogg's brother's funeral. So I went to go over there, hang out with them for a little while. We had a good time. It was so sad at the funeral. Oh my goodness. Stevie Wonder played what his harmonica, I think it is. His harmonica. And y'all, I mean, when I say Stevie Wonder sang so good. And then also Uncle Charlie Wilson. So I had a good time there. But hold on, I'm trying to get to the content where the hold on you guys. I'm trying to get to the content where the lady was kind of going off. Let's see cuz she's like do you guys know this girl right here? This girl right here? Uh-oh, hold on. Let me see. Okay, I don't know what that was. But this girl right here, she's really tall. She's like 6'7" and I'm 4'11". This girl 6'7". She was the tallest girl in Miami. She's super tall. She's 6'7", and we met her in Miami, and she is super tall. She is like a tall, 6'7". She is like a big, big, tall, beautiful girl. And she's young too. She's only like 23 or something like that. Beautiful girl. But she is tall. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, this girl's tall. She's like literally like super, super tall. But hold on, let me see because I want to bring that Diddy trial situation because that girl, she was doing the most in that Diddy trial. I was shocked. I was like, "Oh my God, this girl right here, she about to get these federal agents, I mean to be like popping off." And then I got a lot of Umar content. You know, Umar for this 3 times, y'all. Y'all know oh, here it is right here. Okay, here, hold on. Let me do this one first. This one's first.
New York City, we back at Diddy's trial. How you feeling this morning, baby? I'm feeling good because I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm with you. I'm with you. Look at that line. Oh my God. It is crowded. Everybody's trying to get back to Diddy Glover's recall trial. And gentlemen, reporting live.
And y'all see the lady, the news lady, she's right in front of me. The news, I don't know what news channel she works for, but y'all see her with the red purse? They were all so sweet. They were really cool.
With you, look at that line. Oh my God. It is crowded. Everybody's trying to get back to Diddy Glover's recall trial.
Y'all know Jamil is a mess. Y'all know Jamil Peterson, Mr. I Am Comedy, my hubby, he is a mess. Y'all know. And y'all, hold on real quick. I'm so proud. I'm so proud of my baby. I gotta give him his props. So y'all know if you know, or if maybe you know or you don't know, but my baby Jamil Peterson, he is an actor and a comedian. So he had his movie. They did a movie premiere in Pennsylvania on my birthday on the 23rd of May. So we went down there. The movie premiere, 2 shows were sold out. We had a great, great time. And the movie, it like, I mean, the city where they're at, Harrisburg, the movie, I mean, they loved the movie. I mean, it was a huge and it was a big, big turnout. But y'all, let's go to this lady. This is a lady that crashed out in the Diddy trial, right behind, literally, like where the door is, like where this door is, almost in arm's reach. And she crashed out and she was talking to Diddy and yelling and screaming in the federal court building in the courtroom while the judge was on the stand. Let's listen to what she has to say, because I tell you, it was a crash out, y'all. Listen, I'm just leaving like this because I need to. And this is ABC News.
Oh, wait. Let's do this. Okay, we won't see that. I'll be honest with you. Okay. All right, cool. Good. You know, those things are because you know you're supposed to stand like this when you're. Can I ask you what's the first guy in the first one? Jacqueline, JACQUELANE.
See, she got that MTA pass thing on her neck. That's why they called her the MTA lady.
That's this. I was too. Right. What is that? From that hair. All right. Anything on my face? No, anything? No, you did. All right. Excuse me.
Okay, that's the beginning of that interview, you guys. Let me go. Let me see if they have. I have a other one. Cause that's a lot. That's a short clip. But let me go and see if I have the. Maybe I do have it. Maybe I don't. Cause there was a guy that also he crashed out at the courthouse. Hold on, I may got it. I probably have it. Let me check and see, cause it was over there at the courthouse. The crash out. It was crazy, y'all. It was crazy. Okay, let me see. That's the MTA lady. Hold on, I got to show y'all because that trial, it was crazy. It was so crazy. Hold on, let me see. Let me do a recap. Let me see. Let me see. But I don't know what trials do y'all think? Surviving Diddy Glover. We had a good time at that trial, right, babe? We had a good time. Me and Jamil, we had a good time. I was trying to find, remember Jamil, the guy that crashed out, remember? The guy crashed out and he was on a bike and he was like screaming. He was like, I told you guys Diddy is not guilty. He is not guilty and blah. He was like crashing out. He was crashing out, but I think I got it. Hold on. Let me see. Let's see. Let's see where the crash out bike rider at the Diddy trial is at. Cause I know I got it. I know I got it. Hold up. Cause let's see. Let's see. Where is it? Because that was crazy. I couldn't believe the guy crashed out like that, y'all. I could not believe that man he crashed out right in front of the courthouse. He was saying Diddy is innocent and these people are crazy. And let me see. These people are crazy and that Diddy ain't did nothing. He was going off. I'm telling you, he was going hard in the paint for Diddy. Let me see. Let me see, because I'm telling you, that Joker, it was hilarious. I was like, oh my God. It was two of them that crashed out. It was two of them. It was an older white guy. And when I say older, y'all, he was an older white guy. And he crashed out. And I was like, oh my God. He is really going hard for Diddy. And we know Diddy Glover is not he's not a saint. He's not a saint, but let's see. Hold on. I think I may be getting close to it. Let me see. Let me see, said the blind man. But yeah, I'm trying to find trials. I do want to do the OnlyFans trial, that one, because that one's coming up. Oh, here it is right here, y'all. The crash out. The crash out by the courthouse, y'all. Okay, here we go. Let's play it. Let's play it.
No. Oh, this history repeats. They're clearing out the savages, bringing in their people. They're tracking your phone. Sweet sir, give me a break. Oh my God.
Give them a break. Keep your phone. They want you out. They love your place. Wow. What you out of it? It's a mafia.
Oh Lord, he was crashing out, y'all. He was crashing out, but there was another guy. Hold up, swole up, y'all. Hold up, swole up. There's another guy who crashed out at the Diddy trial, and this one was worse. Oh, this one was worse, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. He was so loud, even the federal agents were scared of him. I was like, how these federal agents scared this man? That man was crashing out and acting a donkey. Hold on, y'all, because y'all gonna be like, OMG. Oh, here it is right here. Y'all check this man out. He was crashing all the way out. Them federal agents were scared.
Look out for that, my Jimmy. Almost start some shit, but you did not know I get shot. You shot. And there is a new shit. Why was he tripping? I don't know.
I was asking this lady why was he tripping. She was like, I'll bust him upside his effing head.
No, fuck that. Look out for that, my Jimmy. Almost start some shit, but you did not know I get shot. You shot. And there is a new shit.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord, y'all. The crash out was real at the Diddy trial. I'm telling you, it was crazy. It was crazy, crazy. So crazy, y'all. I can't tell you how crazy it was, but we had an awesome, awesome time. But yeah, we had an awesome time. That Diddy trial was woo 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 woo. Whew, that thing was crazy. But like I said, I want to try to find another trial. If you guys know a good trial, leave it in the comments after on this live. Leave it in the comment box. And whatever thoughts you guys have about any trials, about this trial, leave a comment. You guys, as long as y'all are respectful, just stay respectful. Everybody has a voice, and I want everybody to be entitled to their opinion. As long as it's respectful, you're not calling nobody bad names, or making, just state your opinion how you feel. Look, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Let everybody has a voice, but just be respectful. That's all we ask. That's it. We easy over here. We is easy. Oh wait, hold on. Was this the Let me see something. Okay, I already played that one. But y'all, I'm not gonna keep y'all long. Y'all, sad, sad, sad. Sad, sad, sad. But I don't know what to say. But we gotta pray, and we got to oh, here's another one. These are the Diddy interviews. They were saying that these guys, Diddy was paying these guys to wear these shirts. Check this out. For this in a free Diddy shirt, so I would just wanted to get some information in the chat about the free Diddy shirt. So right. So I ran, just to be clear, this shirt is not for sale. I'm not being paid to wear this shirt. So I just want to make sure that's clear.
Because there's a circulation out there that this shirt, and where's it? Yeah. The big thing. Yeah. No, I'm doing it because I'm achieving that false thing. Does he know something? I mean, yeah, I mean, it's not personally, yeah, but I know it's family member things. So you bring the great any shirts? Have you been inside the court? Sometimes. Okay, okay. So you're a support person. Okay, all right. So that's all that's all. So how what's the take on what's the on under the house so far? To be honest, I always said it could be was a white individual in your race, probably like just get this try it would have been done. Yeah. And would not extend this far. Yeah. Being that he's not one of those. That's why we're standing here now going through this formality, this whole process. Because if you realize the charges that was leverage against him, they're not even talking about that no more. So we go into cases where, in my opinion, this is a domestic case, to be honest. Simplistically, a domestic case. Now, you guys who are following this, you know, this is from the beginning of the point here. You haven't seen any RICO, any prostitution, any sex trafficking. All the contestants now, we understand, have affirmed nothing in relation to that. And that's the main reason why the federal got in here in the first place. This should have been a state case, not a federal. Why we still standing here? That's what we saying. Free puff. That's what we say. Free puff. I was never gonna warn this. Yeah. If we had those closed doors, if they had no evidence. Yeah. You know. And that's what we keep saying. Free puff. And I can't wait. I'll be here to see Pump walking out that door with his family. So you think that he's innocent? Innocent is walk free? Or do you think that they're gonna catch him on at least some charge? Like, now watch this. My take here is that we will keep bringing as many people just to make sure we find something. There is nothing on point to saying enough is enough. Now they going back. The next time I'm gonna see J-Lo coming in. The next time I'm gonna see who else come. They're gonna bring in more on the stage. I'm just saying. Because other women that they implicated. Hey man, I appreciate it. Okay. All right, that's it too. Joy. Joy. Yes, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, y'all. I think do you let me check in with y'all. Do y'all think that when those people were wearing free Diddy shirts, do y'all think that Diddy's camp was paying them? Or do y'all think that was somebody like kind of trying to spin off another narrative? I don't know. Cause 50 Cent, he put on a free Diddy shirt and went down there and y'all he was trolling. Y'all know 50 Cent, he be on troll patrol, right? 50 Cent, but I like 50 Cent. Put a one in the chat if y'all like 50 Cent. Put a one in the chat if y'all like 50 Cent. I love 50 Cent. 50 Cent be on Troll Patrol. He be having me dying laughing. I mean, he be cutting up in them. He be cutting up. He said be cutting up. But y'all, I'm not gonna keep you guys. Always lead with love, peace, and tranquility. We gotta pray for everybody. Psalms 91, the canopy of protection. Over the Metcalf family, over the Carmelo family. Is sad. Nobody wins. At the end of the day, it's sad on both ends. But you guys, we just gotta, teach our kids to not push nobody, to not, be have nobody in no rap cipher. If you feel like, if you guys have young kids, because our kids are 100 years old, but we 21. We 21. But you gotta teach your kids really and truly, nothing wrong with defending themselves, but if somebody does something to them, or somebody is doing something, like the situation, just to go get it adult. Don't take whatever's going on into your own hands. Go get it adult, because these type of things will happen if they take it into their own hands. They're kids. They're gonna react way different than us at an older age. Like, can we go back? We can rewind the time when we were that age at 17. For me, oh, it would have been a rattle battle, knockdown too. I'm not gonna lie. And a lot of us at our younger age, that was just our mentality, because we were younger at that time. But as we get older, those things, it's like, you stay away from those things. At least I do. I'm not doing no drama. I'm trying to get myself away from any drama and free from any drama. And just, in my older years, leading with love, peace, and tranquility, and just treating everybody the way that they treat me, just being respectful. But it happened, it's sad, and things you can't get back or take back or whatever, and it's sad. But these are like learning lessons for like everybody. But it's sad all the way around. It's very, very sad. It's really, really sad. But y'all, I'm not gonna keep you guys. I'm gonna try to figure out the next court case that we're gonna do. Like I said, I want to do the OnlyFans court case, and then I think I want to dabble into the court case with that. I think it's like an officer or something in Massachusetts. I don't know. I got to see how interesting or maybe uninteresting it is before I try to dabble in it and check and see what other cases are out there. But thanks for all of you guys' support. Thank you guys for all of the cash apps. Thank you everybody who gave me gifts and everybody who hit the like button, who subscribed to my channel. I really, really appreciate it. And y'all, whenever we go on vacation, because we going on a vacation, me and my baby Jamil, we try to go like far, and we're gonna take y'all with us because we turn on the camera, we bring you guys all kind of content when we be on our vacations and be all over the place. Y'all go with us. We like to take y'all with us. So of course, there's gonna be some vacations coming up soon. But y'all lead with love, peace, and tranquility, and just pray for one another. Psalms 91, the canopy of protection over everybody. Cause life be life, and things happen, you know, sad, but it's true. Life be life. Yeah. So lead with love, peace, and tranquility, y'all. And I will see y'all in the next video. Bye bye.